on Team Canada tonight. The WBC winner will face either South Korea or the Dominican Republic. The Seahawks added a running back. Seattle signed former Packer Emmanuel Wilson yesterday, making him the second outside free agent added to the Seahawks team. Another big-name free agent signed elsewhere. Kyler Murray finally has a new home, signing with the Minnesota Vikings.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Happy Friday. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus today. Hi, Curtis.
Hi.
You're here every day anyways. Nothing special.
All right.
How's that for an intro for you?
Thanks. here was somebody who is not special. Me.
Curtis Rogers. Someone who is special is who we're going to talk about to start the show. If I were to ask you guys, okay, pick one Mariner who you think holds the key to the 2026 season. Now, I don't want to hear as an answer, oh, everyone, or oh, multiple people, because, yeah, that's
Leo
true.
Rivas.
It's a team sport. There are many, many people on this
Miles
team.
Mastrobuoni.
There are many people on this team who are going to be vitally important to the Mariners' success. But if we were just to choose one right now, who we think perhaps holds an outsized level of impact on the 2026 season, who do you guys think it would be? You can text in 866-979-3776 with who you think it is. But, Curtis, I already know who you think it is. Who?
It's that guy who roams center field. Number 44, Julio Rodriguez. That, to me, is the guy I look at that has probably the biggest impact on this 2026 season of anybody else on this roster. And I say that because when you look at what Cal Raleigh did last year in 2025, he was the obvious answer for last season. But to expect Cal to do what he did again, that just seems like such a tall task. I mean, only McGuire and Sosa have multiple 60 home run seasons. Like they're
Until
the only
Cal
two.
does it
Right, yeah, exactly. Until
so
I'm going to look like an idiot on
You're going to look like a fool when he gets to 60
on
in
September
June.
30th. Yeah, boy. Save this audio for when he hits number 60.
The first 120 home run season.
Right, but I look at this Mariners team right now, and if Cal does not match what he did a year ago, that's going to mean there needs to be somebody else that makes up that difference. And I look at the rest of this roster, Stacy, and there is nobody on this roster, I think, that is more capable of making up that difference than Julio Rodriguez. And
why?
Because we know what he's at his peak. The unfortunate thing is we've never seen his peak throughout the course of 162. We've seen it from usually like post All-Star break on or like June onwards, but we've never seen it from April through October. It has not happened. And if it does happen, you're talking about one of the very best players in the game. He's already one of the very best. As ESPN's top 100 list had him, I think, 9th already. He's
exceptional.
And he's never had an OPS above 900 in his career. Like, he is still one of the very best players in the game, even without having put together a full season.
Julio's monthly splits are real. I'm trying to figure out how much of that is just a slow start for players around the league and how much of it is something that's somewhat unique to Julio. I don't have the exact split, but I do think he has among the biggest splits of any like active regular starter for certain months. I would like to point out, though, that in 2025, he hit 207 in March and April. That's not great.
No, that's not
But
good.
in May, he hit 282.
I'll take that.
You know what I mean? Like the first half, second half splits in terms of just basic batting average, right? 252 and 290. That's notable. But that 207 in March, April, that really slow start that he gets off to, sinks a lot of that because he was hitting 282 in May, 289 in June. Obviously, we know that he heats up in the second half. In August, it was his best month, hitting 321. But I think that as long as you can get, a great version of Julio near the end of April or in May, I'm okay with the player not always hitting the ground running for a 162-game season. It's tough to suddenly look like an all-star in April. Not a lot of players do it.
Right. There is a ramp-up period that teams need, the players need. Heck, Cal, I think he did end up having a pretty big April last year, but I think he waited quite a while for his first home run, if I'm not mistaken. It was like maybe like after the first week of games last year. But yes, there's likely going to need to be a ramp-up period for Julio, but I think if he's going to make his impact felt throughout this season, it's going to have to be early and it's going to have to be often. What was it? Jake Mintz yesterday with us on this very show talked about how if the consistency is there with Julio, then his ceiling really has no limits.
Consistency, man. It's not even about like pop. We've seen it in spurts. We've seen it in month-long stints. And even as Julio is like not going full, like he's not fully capitalizing on all of his skills. He hasn't done it over a full season. He's still one of the best players in the sport over his tenure in Seattle, right? And like the floor is just so high with what he is. And so the question is, can he do it over a full season? Like, I think at some point in his career, he will have like a 10 wins above replacement season when he just puts it all together.
And I mean, he's entering his prime, right? He's going to be 25 this season.
Thing, yeah.
Like he is still not at his athletic peak, which is usually around 25, 26, 27 years old. And he's already accumulated like close to 25 WAR in his career. Has been an all-star every single season he's been in the bigs, has received MVP votes. Like he has accomplished so much already. And it still feels like there's another level he can get to.
I agree, and I think that he can do it, and most importantly, and it's why we started the show this way, is going to need to in order for Seattle to get to and win a World Series. I like the way that you started this conversation, which is, look, Cal will have some regression, not because you don't believe in Cal, but because that's just an absolutely unreal season to try to repeat. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be the subject of a lot of like, wow, regression, even though what he's doing could still be considered the best for any catcher in baseball. But I think that it's leaving out room for improvement for other players. If you're just assuming that Cal regresses and therefore the Mariners won't be as good, well, you're not leaving room for other guys improving. So I like you pointing to like, well, why can't there be a world where a now 25-year-old Julio Rodriguez is getting home runs a little earlier in the season, is adding to that WAR over the course of the season?
Yeah, and I think, too, there's going to be improvement at first base. Josh Naylor for a full season over what it was in the season's first half last year. That's going to be an area where you pick up some slack. I don't think the drop-off from Gino and what he gave you in the season's second half is going to be that much different. It may even be an improvement with Brendan Donovan there, just in terms of a defensive assist and also just making regular contact the way that Donovan has.
Like you mentioned earlier, not starting the season with Rowdy Tellez at first is pretty big. No offense to Rowdy Tellez, an incredibly likable person.
Yeah, but it is a lot different heading into this 2026 season than it's ever been in Mariners history, really. And I think a lot of that has to do with just kind of how they've been able to fill out this roster over the last couple of years. And they've just collected pieces here and there and here and there and have really kind of put a nice roster together. Obviously, the questions of, people's feelings getting hurt maybe in the World Baseball Classic. We don't know how that's going to play out. And obviously the Bryce Miller injury, that's going to potentially have an impact early on in the season. But right now, Stacey's starting point, day one of the 2026 season, I feel very confident about this team. And if a guy like Julio lives up to the expectation that we've all kind of had for him since he debuted back in 2022, like, look out. Like, that is a World Series contender if you get that from Julio.
It's about his ceiling. I love Josh Naylor. I love Josh Naylor. I love the addition of Brendan Donovan. I love this pitching staff, but it's about the overall ceiling, and no one has a higher one than Julio. So that's why I think, to me, I agree with you that he's the correct answer to, like, this Mariner holds the key for the 2026 season. He has the highest ceiling of any single player on this team. Does he hit that consistently? No. And you can't really, over the course of a baseball season, there's no such thing as being, like, consistently excellent, but can you be consistent more often than not in the course of month by month, right? Mm-hmm. Can you get that OPS a bit higher in April than you have in past Aprils? That's really going to dictate a lot of what happens this season. A couple other names that were mentioned by people, Josh Naylor, Brian Wu, both of which make sense. we've had some, I think people were looking at dark horses, like, oh, well, I think that Dom Canzone could end up being this. But I think you're right. It's Julio. No, Julio is the most gifted player on this team.
1,000%.
That's not a slight. That's not an insult. That's not even something I think other players would disagree with.
Yeah, I think they would be like, yeah, that guy has.
He's a freak.
He has the most talent of anybody on this roster. The Brian Wu one is interesting to me, Stacey, because we're probably talking about the Mariners in a much different light heading into this season. If Brian Wu is healthy during the playoffs, you finish 8 outs short of a World Series. Some of those starts made by guys in the playoffs that did not look so hot, thinking about like Luis Castillo against the Blue Jays, thinking about, Logan Gilbert against the Tigers early on in that series. Like, if those starts are made by Brian Wu, like, do they get to the World Series? Like, Brian Wu was so good last year. So good. And I, honestly, looking at what he did last year, I think he is your number one guy right now.
Would you make him your opening day starter?
I think I would.
Really?
I think I absolutely would.
I don't think I would.
He was so good, though.
Not that he was. I think he was your best pitcher last year.
Nasty
but
stuff.
I'm one of those suckers for, like, not just tradition, but kind of like a respect for
veterans.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just who I am.
I think you got to. I think the opening day starter has to be, what have you done for me lately? And I think it's got to be your best pitcher from the year prior if they're back. Like, I think Brian Wu has earned that after his season a year ago. Like, he was so good. Top 5 in Cy Young voting. I think he's the best pitcher on this staff. But, Stacey, one thing we haven't got to, and, like, we've been talking about Mariners and World Series and whatnot, and it was the comments made by Julio yesterday, which caught fire, obviously, but in Seattle. And a lot of people, yeah, let's hear it.
Let's take a listen.
No. I mean, being honest though, like I love the Mariners. They know I give my best for them every single time that I step on the field. But winning a World Baseball Classic will be top of the list. You know, this is for my country, this is for my town, this is for my people, my neighborhood, like everybody in the Dominican Republic. So I would say winning the World Baseball Classic will be number one.
That's when asked if he'd take winning a WBC over the World Series. Which, like, by the way, context is that you're being asked this in the middle of a chase for a WBC, for a win there. So it's like, not only what else are you going to say? I'm not upset with someone for talking about how their country means more to them than a team that they're on right now. It's not that both don't really, really matter to this person, but, like, I'm not offended by that.
I'm not offended by it either. And I made the comparison last night on Twitter saying that a lot of these guys who are not from the United States grew up watching the World Cup in their home countries, and that's the biggest sporting event in the world. And this is the closest thing to it in baseball. And if the Dominican Republic were to win something that shows, like, global supremacy, like, think about how small the Dominican Republic is. And think about how much, like, how they're not really a player in the Olympics. Like, they're not winning track and field events. They're not winning, they're not really competing in basketball.
But so massive to the world of baseball.
Exactly. And so for them to potentially say they are the greatest country in the world at one of the most popular sports in the world, like, that's going to mean a lot more to citizens and to fans and to the players in the Dominican Republic than it will to maybe anywhere else in the world. Like, let's say the United States wins the WBC. Everybody's excited. Everybody's happy for a few days. And then the next news cycle comes through. It's kind of old news by the end of the week. Just how, like, we're past Team USA hockey winning the gold medal in men's and women's. Yeah, that happened, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
But, like, no one's talking about that anymore. So if the Americans win, like, yes, it is going to be so exciting for, like, a couple days, and then we're just going to be, on to the next thing. We're going to be on to opening day by then. Mm-hmm. But in the Dominican Republic, I mean, these guys are going to be legends. They already are legends, but, like, they're going to be viewed as heroes, conquering heroes.
We are not done talking about the WBC, by the way. Team USA taking on Canada tonight, and then the winner will advance to face either South Korea or, speaking of, the Dominican, where we're going to see Julio there. And Josh Naylor tonight. So many Mariners taking part in WBC. Opening day is almost here. We're sending one of you and a friend to experience it like never before. Imagine getting front front row access to the opening ceremonies, player introductions, first pitch, and so much more, all from the field. To enter, all you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, no problem. You can either text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download, or you can download it for free at the App Store. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Friday, March 18th. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, real
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Seahawks have added outside free agents. They did it. They're signing...
Yeah!
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 They're signing former Packers running back Emmanuel Wilson and former Colts safety Rodney Thomas. What's the real headline?
John Schneider said, here, damn.
Get off my back.
God, leave me
Fine,
alone.
I'll do it. Jeez.
Jeez. What do you want me to do? I'm busy here. I got a draft to prep for. I got top of the market contracts to work out with 2 players. Fine. Here's Emmanuel Wilson.
You know what's funny is that you know how whenever the Mariners make a trade and we all kind of lament if they trade for somebody that we have to go and look up, and it's like I wish they would trade for somebody that I already know or sign somebody that I already know. Definitely had to look up Emmanuel Wilson and Rodney Thomas.
Yeah, sometimes for free agency, I don't mind that. Like, look, there are free agents who have been signed that have had monumental impacts on a team that are top of the market free agents. Saquon Barkley to the Eagles is like the most notable example on the planet, but there are many of them. However, I think there's an outsized portion of free agents that are free agents for a reason. And, you know, when you... Like in a trade, I like knowing who they're trading for because it feels like a really cool acquisition, regardless of sport, regardless of league. For free agents, sometimes the most famous name can end up being overpaid.
Oh, yeah.
So now there is a name. We'll talk about it coming up later in the show. There is a well-known player that I wouldn't mind seeing on this team. It doesn't always mean that a name you recognize can't be impactful. But I'm a little more accepting of it with free agents, especially that second and third wave of guys. Do your job, Matt.
Wow.
Look, I wasn't paying attention, okay? Are you happy now?
Headline 2, Kyler Murray signed a 1-year deal with Minnesota. What's the real headline?
He really is a new man on the Minnesota Vikings.
Aha. Aha. Get it.
Because it's Lizzo.
It's a famous song lyric.
You guys get it? Did everyone get it?
I think so.
I'm just going to leave a moment
The best jokes
for
are the
everyone
ones
to
you
get
have
it.
to explain.
Yeah, the best ones are the ones someone else has to Google or quickly look up. The song isn't new. It's not fresh.
Right. It's close to probably 10 years old now.
This is the least stop.
I think
no
so.
No way.
It's got to be close to 10 years old now.
God. No way.
I think so.
I'm old. I am not surprised by this, and I don't think a single person across the NFL is.
This seemed inevitable as soon as Kyler Murray was going to hit the open market. And I want to know, Stacey, where do you have the Vikings in the hierarchy of the NFC North? We heard Dominique Foxworth say this takes them all the way up to the level of the Rams. I don't even know if they're the best team in their own division right now.
For the Vikings?
Yeah.
No, I mean, the
Bears,
NFC North's
Packers,
deeply
Lions,
competitive.
yeah.
I think I'd still give a nod to, which is wild that I'm saying this, but the Bears are really, really promising. The Lions are hard to predict because how much of what they've struggled with has been regression and how much of what they've struggled with has been just completely getting decimated by injuries, especially when it comes to like one half of the ball, right? It's a bummer when you lose guys no matter what. It's a huge bummer when you lose a ton of guys on defense. But no, I still don't. I get what Dominique Foxworth was saying with that, which is, wow, the Minnesota Vikings could very easily be a playoff team with a better quarterback. That's what he's saying. He's saying the Minnesota Vikings have so much talent. They won 14 games the year prior. They have a great head coach and play caller. They've got a great wide receiver. They've got a great defense and great defensive coordinator. They've got so many weapons. They've just been kicking themselves with quarterback play. I get it, but I disagree with him that they suddenly become the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I would say of their recent quarterbacks, Kyler Murray is the most talented. Like, he has got the most jaw-dropping skill set of any of them. But Murray's never been a guy that's elevated his teammates. He's never been a guy that's taken a good team and has made them better than what maybe some preseason prognostications have been. I do think, though, this Vikings quarterback room right now, maybe the moodiest in the NFL. Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy. Those two guys, very much loners, very, very kind of emo guys.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that's going to work.
I wonder what happens with J.J. McCarthy in general, because Kyler Murray, it's not like you brought in, let's say Kirk Cousins was still good. Kirk Cousins, in all likelihood, unless Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign with the Steelers, is going to be signed somewhere as a backup. And that's probably where he is in his career. Fine. If they were to sign Kirk Cousins, you'd go, well, obviously, someone like that older veteran is the guy this year, but they're going to hang on to JJ, and JJ is going to be the guy for them moving forward. He just needs some more time to marinate. But with Kyler, is that the case? I know it's a one-year deal, but if he balls out, he's not going anywhere. They're not going to make the same mistake they did moving on from Sam Darnold. If Kyler balls out, they're going to pay Kyler to stay there. This team's never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and if Kyler Murray balls out, he's going to get a second big contract in the NFL. Man, this release is the best thing going for him because he's got, 50-something million coming his way? He signed a minimum deal with Minnesota and then could sign another big deal this next offseason, which he has a clause in his contract with the Vikings that they cannot tag him next year. That's pretty smart.
Vikings schedule. Vikings 2026 schedule. I don't know about overall strength of schedule. So obviously facing the NFC North is really tough. Looks like the AFC North as well. So a game against the Browns, not too bad. Go ahead and take that. And then it looks like, do they have the AFC West or is that a second, fourth place team? Okay, AFC East.
Yeah. Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. So
I'd say middling. They've got some easier ones, but
I think they could be a playoff team.
Yeah, I think so.
Breaks right.
I agree. What's last?
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Team USA takes on Canada in the knockout round of the World Baseball Classic tonight. What's the real headline?
Josh Naylor has a chance to do the funniest thing. Josh.
Do it.
Listen.
Do it, Josh.
You've got a chance here, buddy. Now, you can let this rest, or you can stir it up. You can shake it up.
Be messy, Josh. Do it.
I always say that. The number one rule of the show. Do it for the clout.
Do it for the clout.
Do it for the clout.
See, I think Naylor might do it, but I also think he will laugh it off.
I don't think he's going to.
Maybe. Him and Cal have a much better relationship than I think many guys on the team. Because they went to the Super Bowl together. Like, they've been kind of in cahoots ever since Naylor came over in that trade last year. I feel like they both can joke around a little bit more than Cal and Randy can. So, I don't know. I hope it happens. I would love to see it.
It's not going to happen.
We don't even know if Cal's going to be catching tonight because Team USA has kind of flip-flopped him and Will Smith. Who knows?
Would you have Will tonight again? And then, obviously you have to win. Someone needs to let Mark DeRosa know, but you have to win. But if you
These
advance,
are must-win games.
Must-win games right now.
Mark.
If you advance and the Dominican advances, the DR is a much tougher opponent.
Right. You're going to want your best bats in that line.
And hypothetically, even though Cal hasn't done much of anything at bat, he's still a better bat than Smith.
Yeah.
I think that maybe you start. I don't know. What would you do? If you're Mark DeRosa, what would you do?
I think maybe you go Will Smith tonight, Cal against the DR.
Yeah, I think that's the move.
Yeah.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus today. The Seahawks added a running back, but coming up next, we'll tell you why they shouldn't be done adding.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Heward here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years, and you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Where's everyone going? To get their $15 St. Patty's Day raffle ticket from Washington's Lottery before they're gone. With a $1 million grand prize and only 250,000 tickets available, you better go get yours today. Game on.
Our number one thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
For those diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or PTSD, Northwest Ketamine Clinics wants you to know hope is within reach. Here's Brandon, a recent patient.
Going to sleep was challenging. Getting my brain to turn off was challenging. Just kind of getting through every day was a bit challenging. Like everything was a little too hard, a little too much resistance, and that just kind of evaporated. After the first few sessions of ketamine, it was noticeable. People remarked on it pretty quickly. I had done maybe 2 sessions, 3 sessions, and people started going, what are you doing differently? You look awesome. You just look like your skin is healthier and you look happier. To anyone thinking about giving it a try, if you have depression, ADHD, bipolar, any of those things feel like they would vastly benefit from it. So go for it. That's what I say.
Welcome to the Pacific Northwest's most experienced ketamine center. Book a free phone or video consult at nwketamineclinics.com. Healing starts here.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Sometimes we hang on to our old attorneys and coaches too long. They've been around, they've done good work. But when the legal game changes, you need a team that is hungry to win now. At Bible Law Group, we're that faster, hard-hitting legal team, ready to fight for every inch in the courtroom. With over 40 million closed for our clients, we know how to win, and we're ready to take on the biggest legal case of your career with you. Don't stick with a playbook that's gone stale. Switch to the legal team that's ready to win now. Let Bible Law Group be your linebacker in the courtroom. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770. 388-2770.
Sparta's Pizza reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare, and let's bring our children home safely. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Sparta's Pizza and Spaghetti House, serving the best pizza in the universe for over 40 years. Come visit them in Linwood, Bothell, Mill Creek, or online at spartaspizza.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The Seahawks added a running back, but they shouldn't be done adding, right? This was John Schneider on the John Schneider Show with Wyman and Bob the other day, talking about Emmanuel Wilson.
Our pro staff did a great job evaluating, identifying Emmanuel and just saying, hey, here's this 230-pound guy with great feet, and you sign a one-year deal like that. It's kind of like a come on in, come be part of our culture, kind of like come prove it, see what you can do, and compete with a group. And he gives us a little bit something different. He's a heavy runner, and excited about him.
Emmanuel Wilson is 26 years old. He'll be turning 27 this season. He was an undrafted rookie free agent who spent all 3 years so far in the league with the Green Bay Packers. He had 496 yards last season with Green Bay on 125 carries, 3 touchdowns.
He's a kind of a power back. That's what he's known as. 5'10", 226. You heard John Schneider say he's a heavy runner. And it's kind of along the same lines as what Zach Charbonnet is as a running back, where Charbonnet is much more of a power running back than Ken Walker was here in Seattle. I think Wilson is a good depth piece. I don't necessarily view him as a starting running back type in the NFL. Did have a pretty good yards per carry average in 2024, 4.9 when he got his first kind of real taste of the number 2 job in Green Bay behind Josh Jacobs and whatnot. But I don't know, Stacey, when I look at these numbers for Wilson over the course of the last couple of seasons, it feels like he's more of a running back too, or more of a kind of a timeshare running back rather than a feature back.
It's not an insult at all. That's what he was with Green Bay. And here's the thing. Being part of a running back committee worked for Seattle last year. It's worked successfully for teams around the league. The Lions have done it successfully with what was Montgomery and Gibbs, what's now going to be Pacheco. I'm fine with that approach. In theory, they could be done adding and have maybe enough to hit the ground running, no pun intended. But should they be? You guys can join this conversation on the text line, 866-979-3776. Would you like to see him make another move?
Yeah, I think so. I would like to see them make another free agent move, if I'm being honest, because I just don't think Zach Charbonnet is going to be healthy by week 1. I think it's going to be a little bit of time before we see him make it back to the lineup. I think maybe he's on the PUP list to start the season, what have you. So that kind of puts him October, November when we could expect to see him. But I think the Seahawks are in a spot right now where it's you have made running a thing of significance in your offense. You spent all last offseason
talking about it constantly.
We need to get better at running the ball. And heck, even at the start of the season when the run game was not producing, the Seahawks stuck to it. And by the end of the year, it helped you win a Super Bowl. It helped you not turn the ball over your final 4 games of the season. So, yes, the Seahawks need to continue adding to this group, I think, because at its current state, without Zach Charbonnet in your lineup, you've got Wilson, you've got Helani, you've got Kenny McIntosh, Velus Jones is there, Cam Akers is there. It's just kind of a pile right now. There really is no standout guy in that group, and I think you got to have at least one of those, whether it be a free agent, whether it be a trade, whether it be a draft pick. And where the Seahawks are picking in the draft, 32, it's going to be tough to find somebody in that spot.
And it's not a great class. And I always say that with a little bit of a asterisk of we can all look and say, oh, it's not a great running back class, and it doesn't mean that there's not going to be running back talent there, right?
Right.
But it is something to just consider. And even if it was a great running back class, having 4 picks is something to consider.
Yeah.
I think that there are 2 things Seattle can do here, and I'd like to see them do one of them. Again, nothing wrong with turning to Halani, turning to McIntosh, hoping Charbonnet can make it back earlier than expected, and then looking with Wilson. Totally fine. I think that does do a little bit of a disservice in Ken Walker's ceiling and Ken Walker's potential and what he could do for you. I think that there's still a gap that hasn't been filled in losing Walker. I totally get hesitating and paying Ken Walker the contract that he got from Casey. Yeah, absolutely. I completely get it. Doesn't mean that you need to do that, but it does mean that you need to account for the speed and the explosiveness that you're losing with him, and I don't know that they've got that yet. So what you could do is, I don't think you can replace like pure talent in just the aggregate, but you can get healthy bodies and you can get experience. And Brian Robinson Jr. is really intriguing to me, having obviously been with San Francisco. Their run game coordinator last year, Brian Fleury, is your offensive coordinator this year. Yeah. Something to consider. Another thing is something mentioned by Brian Walters, trading for Alvin Kamara. And I get people going, Alvin Kamara, 30 years old. Yeah. What, is he going to retire? Like, I don't want Alvin Kamara. He had 471 rushing yards last year. Okay. However, you don't need the all-pro version of Alvin Kamara. To get it would be nice. You're not gonna, so you don't need it. But also, he still had 1,400 yards from scrimmage in 2024. We're not talking about an Alvin Kamara that's been putting up 400 rushing yards in 3 consecutive seasons and looks like he's about to ride off into the sunset with 2 bum knees. We're talking about an Alvin Kamara that was banged up last year, suffered a season-ending MCL injury in Week 12 that abbreviated already a career low in rushing yards. But also an Alvin Kamara that is still exceptionally dynamic and could be a weapon for a room that could use more weapons.
Yeah, and I think you could get him for a very reasonable price heading into the 2026 season. You mentioned how his rushing yardage was about cut in half from the year prior, had 950 rushing yards in 2024, which was a career high at age 29, and then this year just 471 in 11 games. I think he could be had for probably a late-round draft pick at this point in his career. You're not going to have to give up, a potential first-rounder or anything like that.
I'll toss in, not to interrupt, but just to add some context while you keep it going, that Sports Illustrated mocked a draft with the Broncos for Kamara and just used a 5th-rounder.
Yeah. I think that's a very palatable price tag to pay for somebody who is entering his age 31 season and is definitely not what he used to be. But you mentioned, Stacy, how we're not that far removed from him looking like the Alvin Kamara of old, where he had 1,400 total yards in 2024. That was just one season ago. Has always had a nose for the end zone. And, I mean, you look at his receiving totals as a running back, 606 career receptions out of the backfield, had 68 receptions in 2024. Like, he is still somebody that can be used in the pass game and used much more effectively, I think, than what Ken Walker was in the pass game. He has experience playing with Clint Kubiak in 2024. Think about that, Stacy. 1,400 total yards in Kubiak's offense in 2024. The Seahawks trying to keep everything together with what they had with Clint Kubiak, bringing in somebody who worked with him in San Francisco and Brian Fleury. Like, that's a lot of intrigue when it comes to options to add to the Seahawks backfield.
I think one good test for whether or not you would be intrigued by having Alvin Kamara in Seattle would be a team that he's been linked to via trade. Again, there are rumors that he could just end up retiring, that he would rather retire than be traded. He is 30 years old. He's coming off an MCL injury. That's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind, that there may be nowhere that he plays next year. However, one team that's been mocked for a trade with him pretty consistently, San Francisco. How would you feel if Alvin Kamara went to San Francisco? If you wouldn't care at all, if you'd be like, whatever, that means nothing to me, then you probably don't really care if he's here. If all of a sudden you're going, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that Alvin Kamara is going to San Francisco. Well, then maybe you want him here.
It's kind of a weird fit because his skill set is very similar to Christian McCaffrey, where they're so good in both the run and the pass.
But Christian McCaffrey has not been able to consistently stay on the field.
True. He was able to this season. He was like one of the few 49ers that actually made it through the regular season unscathed. But yes, he has a long history of getting banged up and needing some extra rest.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like it's a little redundant to have Kamara and Christian McCaffrey in San Francisco together. I feel like San Francisco might better benefit with like a power running back to pair with McCaffrey, who is so dynamic. And
they could have used Tyler Algier.
Yeah, I think they could have used a lot of guys like that this year. But yeah, Kamara to me is the one guy where I'm kind of like, okay, tell me more.
I'm listening.
Because there is not a lot available in terms of running backs, whether it be free agency or the draft. I mean, maybe you're able to get like Jonah Coleman from UW in like the third round, because I think you have your first, second, and third round picks, and then your only other pick after that is in the sixth round. You have nothing really in the middle rounds this year. So I think within those first three picks, you have to take a running back just based off of what is currently here.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus today. Coming up next, our three biggest questions for the Mariners in spring.
Wyman and Bob, live from Mariners spring training.
Excited to speak with Kate Anderson with us, knowing there are a lot of eyes on you. There are a lot of people that are excited about your potential. And is that something you're even really aware of, or are you just tunnel vision on what you're working on?
Just really trying to take it all in. Like, the cameras are cameras. It's kind of part of it if you want to play professional baseball anyway. So really just try to take it all in, try to get as much information I can out of the vets, and just having a blast so far.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube and watch the full interview.
The madness tips off next week, and with it comes your chance to win the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register, receive your bracket, and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Here's a tale of Linda trying to lose weight, but the med prices she found were all over the place.
Hidden fees and markups made her jaw drop low. Then she found Good RX. Now she's in the know.
GLP-1 subscriptions FDA approved.
With clear upfront pricing.
And same-day pickup.
That's Good RX, the no-nonsense way. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Get to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
Get 5 quarts of Valvoline Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $36.99. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The
nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. Adults ages 18 to 65 and older are invited to try out for the PSSBL this Sunday, March 15th at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school, college, and even former pros. Get all the info at PSSBL.com. That's PSSBL.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
And we're back. The big headline today. Your Washington Credit Union, WSECU, has done it again.
5 straight years as Forbes' best in-state credit union. That's a dynasty, Rick, like 5 straight championship rings.
Or 5 seasons hitting 400, Steve.
Holy catfish. If you want a team that wins year after year, join your Washington Credit Union, WSECU. Details at WSECU.org.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about St. Patrick's Day, a time for parades, green beer, and even leprechauns. But drinking holidays are also a time when DUI patrols are out in full force. Here's who won't be wearing green, those boys in blue. And they'll pinch you whether you are or not. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we want you to stay safe. So make sure to have a designated driver, because if you look in your rearview mirror and see a rainbow of lights, you could be paying a pot of gold in fines. DUI laws never take a break. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up a free private consultation in Seattle, Everett, or Tacoma. If you get a DUI this St. Patty's Day, don't count on the luck of the Irish to get you through. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our 3 biggest Mariners questions for spring. You guys can join this conversation, 866-979-3776. Let's keep this isolated to questions that we're going to have for the early part of the season. So, will the Mariners make it to a World Series? It's a huge and very important question, but not one that's going to be answered in April. We're talking about things where it's like, hey, for the first month and a half of the season, I'm really keeping an eye on this. What's one for you, Curtis?
One is one that got talked about yesterday with Jake Mintz, and we've talked about it too on this show, and that is Cole Young. How much time are they going to give him, especially with Colt Emerson kind of looming? Here is what Jake Mintz of Yahoo Sports told us yesterday.
For Cole Young, he's a young player, and yet in a weird way, like, not like the clock is ticking on him or anything, but like Cole Emerson's coming, and he needs to kind of show that he can be a dude pretty, not quickly, but like Brendan Donovan is going to be entrenched there for the next little bit. And so he, the leash is not as long as you might expect from a player his age.
It's interesting, yeah, because he's 22, which most guys haven't even debuted in the bigs at that age. So he was here early. But I think with the expectations of this season being what they are, and just kind of every other spot on the roster almost settled. I mean, yeah, you've got some questions like right field. Who's going to be playing most out there? Is it going to be Dom Canzone, Victor Robles, Luke Raley, Rob Refsnyder? What's it going to look like out there? But you know what center field looks like. You know what left field looks like. Shortstop, third base with Brendan Donovan, first base with Naylor, catcher Cal. And you know what your rotation is going to look like. But second base, is it going to be Colt Emerson? Like, is it going to be Cole Young? I think Young, I mean, he's played really well as of late in the Cactus League. I think he's got 4 home runs over the last, week plus. So good to see that out of him. But, yeah, I think Cole Young is the guy who I think is maybe the most pressure to just kind of like remain a starter.
Well, and I think Donovan's, like you hinted at, flexibility makes that leash even shorter because there's an immediate option if Cole Young needs more time, right? If you decide, hey, Cole Young is just not ready, he's completely lost at the plate, he's not ready to go, being able to slide Donovan to second immediately as an answer kind of gives you an immediate out. If you were like, hey, we have no choice but to stick with Young, well, inevitably that leads to a longer leash. But it may be a bummer for Cole, who would obviously love to stay in the majors, but it does give the Mariners some flexibility to send him down sooner if he needs to.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, he's 22 years old, so even if they do send him down, I don't think this is like the end of Cole Young's time in Seattle. Like, he still has plenty of years ahead of him to potentially, dig himself out of that hole. And who knows? Maybe you need him as a trade piece come like August 1st or whatever the deadline's on this year. So there's still possibilities.
All right. 2 more questions. So our first question of the 3, how long is Cole Young's leash? Second question, when will we see Bryce Miller? Here was John Morosi with Wyman and Bob.
I don't think that we can say right now the Mariners are a starter short. Not yet. But I am a little bit worried this is becoming, to your point, Dave, a bit of a trend. And not only is it whatever is happening acutely right now, but you think about the diminishment in the number of innings that he pitched last year, and are you on a bit of a push and pull of, okay, well, how many can you really go back up to now, given all the time you missed last year? Now the injury's happening again. It's not a great sign for me right now. And I remember I've heard from scouts. Scouts have taught me a lot over the years, and one of the most important lines is, if you've got a player who can't post and compete this time of year, it's a red flare. I mean, in terms of you're worried about it because you've had all winter to prepare and it's still not working, and it's a concern. There's no other way to say it, but it's a concern.
Within our second question here, which is when do we see Bryce Miller, Curtis, are, I think, 3 others. How concerning is this injury? How soon could we see him, and who starts in his place?
Yeah. How concerning? I think anytime you mention oblique with a baseball player, it's pretty concerning. Not to say that he's going to be lost for the season or anything like that.
There are more concerning. Elbow, forearm.
Yes, and be thankful it's not the elbow. That's what it was last year with Bryce Miller. But I think expecting him ready by his first start of the season is a pretty tall ask at this point of the season. I think he probably starts the year on the IL. Who starts in his place? I know Cooper Criswell has pitched well in a few spot starts here in the spring. And then you've got Emerson Hancock, who's kind of sticking around, and we don't know if he's going to be maybe asked to go to the bullpen this season or continue in sort of that emergency starter role that he's been in the last couple of years. And heck, I mean, Cade Anderson, like, I would be very surprised if we don't see Cade Anderson at some point this season. And, I mean, is that somebody that maybe puts a little bit of pressure on Bryce Miller to return maybe sooner rather than later? Who knows? But you've got a couple of options. Logan Evans, unfortunately, not one of those, as he had Tommy John surgery this offseason. But you're not totally barren in the cupboard in terms of who can get that 5th spot.
3 biggest Mariners questions for spring. Our first, how long is Cole Young's leash? Our second, when will we see Bryce Miller? Our third, Curtis, is what?
It's the one we started off the show with today. Can Julio hit the ground running? Because if he does that, I think he is a surefire MVP candidate on the level of Aaron Judge, on the level of what Cal Raleigh was last year. Like, you absolutely have to take notice of Julio in that conversation if he's able to have an April and May similar to how he finishes off every single season, because if he hits the ground running, I think the Mariners are in first place for the majority of the year.
Is Team USA taking itself a little too seriously? And does the Cal Randy situation matter at all anymore? Let's talk WBC and Mariners with ESPN's Tim Kurkjian next on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
Sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
P&D Tree Service, experts in local tree removal. Their team works fast to remove problem trees in your yard and neighborhood. Have you ever seen a tree removed by a crane? P&D Tree Services specializes in close-quarter tree removal to minimize impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service. Any job, big or small. Safe, efficient, and fast. P&D Tree Service turns multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. Enjoy a clean, safe, and bright yard. PNDTreeService.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here with Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. And Doc, what do you say to people who are considering those GLP-1 injections for weight loss?
Before you start, ask yourself this. Are you prepared to spend $3,000 to $5,000 per year and stay on the medications long-term to maintain the results? Many prescription weight loss injections require weekly shots, and when the medication is stopped, weight gain is common. And most people don't realize research shows a significant portion of the weight lost can come from muscle, which may slow your metabolism and make keeping the weight off even harder.
From personal experience, I can tell you Eastside Weight Loss Clinic takes a different approach, a doctor-developed program helping people lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days.
No injections, no synthetic hormones, no long-term dependence. Instead, we use real food to reset your metabolism, control hunger, and cravings naturally.
So come to their clinic in Kirkland or do the program from anywhere you live with easy remote options. If you want a safe, affordable alternative to weight loss injections,
go to EastsideWeightLossClinic.com to keep the weight off for good.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Team USA takes on Team Canada tonight. The WBC winner will face either South Korea or the Dominican Republic. The Seahawks added a running back. Seattle signed former Packer Emmanuel Wilson yesterday, making him the second outside free agent added to the Seahawks team. Another big-name free agent signed elsewhere. Kyler Murray finally has a new home, signing with the Minnesota Vikings.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross. Here we go now.
ESPN's Tim Kurkjian joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Tim, how's it going?
I'm well. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. There's been some weird stories we've been able to talk about and some fun stories we've been able to talk about. We're going to talk, though, to start about Team USA really lucking out last night. Were you surprised to see Italy win?
No, I wasn't. I mean, that Italian team is pretty darn good. Mexico is a really good team, but in all the years that I've covered baseball, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. This is the ultimate beauty of the sport, is its unpredictability. Just when you think you understand it, you realize that you don't. So I am rarely surprised anymore with anything that happens in baseball because it's just too good of a game to be predicted.
My man said, "I seen it all. Nothing surprised me. I love it."
He said, "You idiot."
Hey, how has the WBC grown? You know, what do you remember from the start to now? How do you view this whole tournament?
Yeah, it's really, really gotten bigger and way better because more teams and more players are invested in the tournament. And when the United States is as invested as it is this year compared to, say, the first year, it's pretty obvious. These guys want to play and for their country. And, and Kyle Schwarber, it's got 340, major league homers, had 50 in a season, won a home run hitting contest, and he called a home run he hit in the WBC, the biggest homer he's ever hit. And he's played in the World Series before. That's really saying something because it's the pride in the country for which he plays. And that, of course, is the secret to this entire tournament. When I did a lot of games a few years ago in Arizona, I was just really amazed by the festive nature of the crowd. And when the ballpark would empty, there was a party going on in the street for the rest of the night, seemingly. That's what makes it so good is the people, the fans who come to support the team are really into it, and the players are really into it. Just look at that Dominican bench after they won last night, that explosion out onto the field. That happens all the time.
I wanted to ask, just because, look, I have to. We've been talking about it for several days, about Cal and Randy's interaction. Is this to you a nothing story? Is it kind of interesting? Was there some kind of protocol broken? Can you let me, because for me, this was something where I was like, is there an unspoken rule I don't know about? Can you let me know what you think happened here?
Yeah, it was an interesting story, but it's been overplayed in my mind for this reason. This is Cal Raleigh involved. We all know what a great teammate he is, and just because he doesn't give a big hug to Randy Arozarena doesn't mean he doesn't like him, doesn't love him, and it doesn't mean he's not a great teammate. Look, I am almost 70 years old. I grew up in a time where you never fraternized with the other team. And when I was covering the Rangers in the early 80s for the Dallas Morning News, Doug Rader, the manager of the Rangers, used to have this, what he called no kissy face rule, that you're not going to go up to players on the other team and, hug them and shake their hand because they're on the other team. And now rules have changed so much that a guy hits a double and he gets hugged by the shortstop and the second baseman when he gets there. So I kind of like that Cal Raleigh said, look, you're my teammate. I love you, man, but I'm on the other side now. And my job and our job is to beat you. So I'm not gonna do this with you right now. This is not the time and it's not the place. It wasn't personal, but I kind of think when you get to this level of competition, it's okay to say, keep your distance. We'll pick this up in 2 weeks when we're teammates again.
Yeah, I clearly think it's a generational thing because all my buddies who are around your age feel the way you feel, and then guys around my age were like, "Man, what the heck is Kyle's problem?" It's definitely has changed over the years. So I respect both perspectives, honestly. One thing that I love watching the Dominicans play. I mean, just the passion and the fun that they're having, the bat flips. But then I also think to myself, like, man, if this was MLB, they might be getting thrown at. You know what I mean? How do you view the Dominicans, how they play, and how good is this team?
Well, the Dominicans might have the best team, and if it's better than the United States and better than Japan, then we're talking about certainly an amazing offensive team here. And again, being almost 70 years old, we don't throw at people like we used to, which is probably a good thing. And back in the day when I first started watching and then I first started covering late 70s, early 80s, there's no way you get away with things like that, like Dominicans and all teams do these days. It's not just them, but this is different. This is about entertainment, and even though the competitive nature is huge, I don't have a problem with bat flips in the WBC because you're playing for your country and you're trying to win. But if this were 50 years ago, Bob Gibson would have knocked about 10 people down. That's just the way it worked. And it's okay because those were the rules back then, and the rules have changed, and I understand it.
I know we are in the middle of the WBC with a lot to talk about there, but I do want to be able to ask you about the Mariners season. Obviously, still a few weeks away here, but one of our questions is like the health of the rotation. It's certainly looking like Bryce is not going to be able to start the season ready to go, and they could go with Emerson Hancock there, but TBD on that one. So that's my biggest question, is just kind of health of the rotation. For you, when it comes to this team, I think we all have high expectations. It's a really exciting season, but what's a lingering question that you have?
Well, health to the rotation is always the biggest question because not with just with the Mariners, but with every team. I mean, look at the Dodgers last year. They had like 8 really good starting pitchers, and then at one point they were down to like 3. This is what happens when guys go out there and throw as hard as they can for 100 pitches and try to spin it as hard as they can. This is what happens. Otherwise, I don't see any glaring weakness for the Mariners. I love what they did in the offseason, some of the people they picked up. Brendan Donovan, of course, is going to be a critical player for them at multiple positions, even though he can play second base every day. Ernest Jones is really going to help. I love that they didn't trade any of their really good young starting pitchers because they're going to need them all. Somebody's going to get hurt, as Bryce Miller already has. So I got asked the other day, like, who's the second best team in baseball? Obviously, people think the Dodgers are the best, and I do too. But I think the Mariners are in that conversation for being right now the second best team in baseball. Now, they're going to have to go out and prove it for 162 games. But this team almost went to the World Series last year. It upgraded in the offseason, and if they can keep the rotation healthy for a full season, this is a really good team.
Yeah, that makes me nervous, honestly. I was watching Sports Center the other day, and I saw Buster Olney predicting the Mariners to defeat the Dodgers in the World Series, and it kind of startled me. And I texted my comrades here, Curtis and Stacy. I'm like, man, you guys watching? This is uncharted territory for us, but it's exciting. So it makes me look at the season a bit more with more intensity. You know, I know it's a long season, and if they come out in that first month and they don't play well, don't panic. But how should we be watching this? I mean, should we expect more? Should we be more patient coming out? Because, Julio and these guys tend to start a bit slow. If it wasn't for Polanco last year, then who knows where this team would be. Polanco's not here. So I guess my question is, how important is it that Julio and the guys do come out and show some life early?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt they're going to show life early because of the players on the team. Cal Raleigh is not going to allow it to be anything but that. And same with Julio. Now, he is a historically slow starter. I'm sure he would love to fix that. I'm not sure why he is that way, but, again, he always gets it going, and they've been really good the last few years. I see no reason to think that they're going to get off to a slow start. And even though they got a bunch of people at the WBC, I think everyone will be in order when spring training finishes. And I see no reason that they can't be a really, really solid contender to win the division, go to the playoffs, and be at least a team that could go to the World Series.
Tim, what's funny is as Bump was asking his question, I was thinking, man, it must be kind of weird for Tim to talk to, in addition to your own national coverage where you have to know so much about different teams. I'm sure that you go on, let's say, like New York sports radio or, sports radio in LA, and the tone has just been very different. Whereas now here in Seattle, for the first time, we're kind of asking questions about, like, should the World Series be an expectation? Like, that's the first time in my life I can remember thinking that or asking those questions. What's it like from the outside looking in, watching narratives about certain teams change and evolve over time?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think one of the great beauties of baseball is a lot of teams enter a season and actually feel like they have a chance to win the World Series. When you've never won the World Series like the Mariners, this is great. I'm not rooting for any team or anything. I'm rooting for a great story. And the Mariners would be a great story to get to the World Series. It'd be an even better story if they won the World Series. So I'm not rooting for them. I just root for a good story. And I think it's about time in that beautiful ballpark in that beautiful city that this team does something really, really exceptional. They came awfully close last year, and I think they're a better team than they were last year.
Is there a name on this roster that you feel has the potential to have a good season that no one's really talking about?
Well, I think everybody knows who everybody is on this team. But I have to say again, Brendan Donovan, who Mariner fans may not know particularly well because he hasn't been with them until this year, he's a really talented player. And like I said, he can play multiple positions, which is absolutely crucial these days. He can play the infield and the outfield, but he can play every day at one position. He can really hit, and just keep an eye on him because even though they had a pretty good offensive team last year, they'll be a better offensive team this year because of that guy.
We were warned to kind of keep our eye on the A's. We're so used to looking at the Astros. Tell us what we should know about the rest of the AL West right now.
Yeah, I got a good look at the A's this spring, and they have a potentially really good offensive team. They've got some exciting players. Nick Kurtz is just an amazing hitter already. Jacob Wilson is really going to be great. He had a tremendous year last year. Brent Rooker is going to hit 30 more homers. I don't know if they're going to pitch well enough to make the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to pitch well enough to even get over 500, but they are a dangerous team, and you don't want any part of them, especially in their ballpark where the ball the ball really flies in that place. So I would keep an eye on the A's. I think the Rangers are better. I think Houston's always pretty good. So the point is the Mariners are up against it when it comes to a competitive division, but I think the Mariners are the best team in the division, period.
Who do you think should be on the mound opening day for the Mariners?
Well, you got about 5 options. I mean, and that Brian Wu was their best pitcher, I thought, last year. I'm still waiting for George Kirby to do it from 1 to 162 and win a Cy Young. That's how good his stuff is. Luis Castillo's stuff is still spectacular, and he's in his 30s now, and he's still really good. They've got about 5 options. I would think Brian Wu would be a great choice for opening day, but I would go with the most experienced guy, reward Castillo maybe, who's been there for a while, been with the Mariners for a while. George Kirby's a good choice. Seriously, 5 options for opening day. Not many teams can say that.
You might have answered it already with that answer, but who's got the highest ceiling or maybe the most intriguing stuff for you of this group?
Well, I think Castillo still has the best stuff on the team. I did their playoff game in Toronto a few years ago, and the next day, his stuff was so good that the next day, Manny Acta, who, of course, is the bench coach for the Mariners, told me, Tim, we need to move the mound back 5 feet because the hitters don't have any chance to react. And he was talking about the stuff that Luis Castillo had that night. Now, maybe it's not exactly the same stuff right now, but it's pretty darn close. So I would take his stuff over any of them. But George Kirby he only throws a ball when he wants to. And again, Brian Woo's stuff is tremendous. They're all so good. And that's why I think they have as good a chance as any team in the American League to go to the World Series.
One of the best in the biz and one of our personal favorites, ESPN's Tim Kurkjian. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you. See you.
Have a good one. Opening day is almost here. We're sending one of you and a friend to experience it like never before. So imagine getting front row access to the opening ceremonies, player intros, the first pitch, and so much more, all from the field. To enter, all you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, shame on you. That's not what the read says. I've started adding in some spice. You text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Friday, March 18th. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Stacy, first down to you. What stood out to you about John Schneider's interview yesterday with Wyman and Bob?
I think his level of praise, the amount of praise that he levied towards Seattle's remaining running backs. For instance, this is what he said about George Holani.
George Holani, like, the one thing that got overlooked in those last 2 games, like, and Mike, I was talking to Mike about this, or Mike McDonald. George, he had 2 really. He was awesome in the NFC Championship game, and he was awesome in the Super Bowl. His pass protection, he made that great, made that 8-yard catch with first down. It was a big, real huge play for us, and yeah, he's just every time he goes in the game, he just performs.
It made me wonder if they expect a much bigger role for George Holani in 2026. Now, obviously, he will have to have a bigger role no matter what, because Zach Charbonnet is probably not going to start the season with this team. TBD how much time he'll actually play with the team this season. But none of us are expecting him to be ready to go week 1. That would be a miraculous turnaround. Hopefully he does it, but I think that we're inevitably looking at George Holani to be one of the veterans in that room. I just want to kind of keep his numbers in mind, though. Every time I do this, by the way, can I just say I feel like I'm being a George Holani hater, which I'm not. I'm not a gambler. I'm not a risk taker by nature. I don't do high risk things. I don't like the idea of skydiving is mortifying. I don't
you don't
gamble.
Change lanes.
I don't even change lanes. Like, I am not a risk taker. So for me as a person, not only would I be a god-awful NFL GM, but I do tend to be really overly cautious when it comes to making sure you have enough insurance in that room, and I still don't feel like they do. When I look at George Holani, I see a guy who, yeah, he does answer the call when he's, there is your, third back, but he still had 73 yards in 2025. So this is a guy with all the talent, you know what I mean? Like, you want George Holani to have a bigger season. I want George Holani to have a 1,000-yard season. I would love for that to happen. That would be fantastic for the Seahawks. It would be a fun story for us to cover. But I'm not going to look at those 73 yards in the regular season and just go, oh, George Holani's your answer. So I kind of was caught between 2 feelings. I was caught between that cautiousness that I always have, and then John Schneider's very effusive praise for Holani. I'm not sure where to land on it.
Second down. Who is the most intriguing free agent remaining?
I have a default answer that I think the rest of the league is looking at, and then I have an answer specific to Seattle. The default answer that I think the rest of the league is watching is Kirk Cousins. Sorry, it's really not fair, but you're a quarterback. Quarterback's the most important position in the game, and he is going to dictate, is he going to be a backup somewhere? Or if you have, let's say, Aaron Rodgers not returning to the Steelers, well, now you're talking about a battle for a starting job. Now there's a game where it's like, oh, is Kirk Cousins your week 1 starter? So I think Kirk Cousins is the most intriguing free agent nationally when all of us around the NFL are looking at where guys could land. However, for Seattle fans, I'm looking at Brian Robinson Jr. He makes sense for Seattle. If you are someone like me who would like to see as much competition as possible added to that running back room, given how important the run is to what you want to do offensively, I'm talking in the draft. I'm talking more free agents. I'm talking from everywhere. Brian Robinson Jr. has experience with your OC, who was his run game coordinator last year. I'm intrigued to see where he lands. So I think Brian Robinson Jr. would be my answer for Seattle. Kirk Cousins for the league.
They're down. Stacey, which free agent landed in the best spot and has a surprisingly low amount of pressure?
What a time to be Mike Evans. You already have a ring and you're already a Hall of Famer. So now Mike Evans is in, I think, kind of a cool spot where he's not going to be blamed for any of San Francisco's failures if they don't get to a Super Bowl. Instead, that's going to be Kyle Shanahan. Oh, Kyle, you can't do it again? God, you've had so much talent, and now you can't get to a Super Bowl. Like, it's not going to fall on him. You know what I mean? He's not a quarterback going somewhere where it's like, oh, everything's set up for you. Like, I think there's a lot of pressure on Kyler Murray. Everyone talking about, you know, how exciting the Vikings could be if he works out. I don't want to spoil my fourth down, so I'm going to keep it moving. But Mike Evans, I think, has a chance to, and I think there's a reality where he is the number one receiver for the 49ers. Despite his age, I think that that's absolutely a world. But there's not this pressure to, like, this is your last and only chance to get a ring. You already have that. You're in the Hall of Fame. You got your ring. It's golden. Like, I sure hope you get to the playoffs, never at the expense of Seattle, so I hope you don't advance. But I think that he's in just a cool opportunity where, like, only good things can happen. Barring not making it to a Super Bowl, only good things can happen for Mike Evans. He's not going to be blamed for anything, but could get a ton of credit if things go right.
Most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons by a receiver. Already 13,000 receiving yards by age 32. Could get to probably 1,000 receptions within the next, like, couple seasons. He's at 866.
And just a great place to be where, like, there's a role for you if you evolve as their number one target, but there's also some backup there if you don't.
Fourth down. Stacey, what non-NFC West signing matters most to the Seahawks?
It's got to be Kyler to the Vikings, right? I mean, when we're talking about the NFC playoff chase, and when we're looking outside of, let's say, Mike Evans to San Francisco or McDuffie in a trade to the Rams, I'm looking immediately at the NFC North, where there are a lot of really competitive teams, and I am looking at the Vikings, who are a really competitive team, who are the defense that I would argue, outside of the Rams in your first meeting, gave you the most headaches out of anyone. Got to your quarterback, just was absolutely suffocating, and their blitzes led the league in blitzing, by the way. And all they were missing was a quarterback. They led the league in turnovers. Seattle turned the ball over a ton, way too much. The Vikings beat them in that category. Their issue was quarterback play, and that was kind of it. If they can right that, and if Kyler Murray ends up being so much better than, you know, their wildest expectations, well, all of a sudden we're talking about someone's getting bumped out of the NFC playoffs. I don't think it's going to be Seattle. But, well, who's it going to be?
That's a really good question. I'm looking at the playoff teams in the NFC from a year ago. Philly, Chicago, Green Bay, Carolina, Seattle, LA, San Francisco. Of those 7, maybe Carolina? But then it'd probably be a team from the NFC South that, well, it'd have to be because Panthers were the division winners. So looking elsewhere, I mean, all the wild card teams were what, from the NFC West this last season? Or you had the Packers too?
Yeah.
Did the Packers make the playoffs? I think they got to.
They'll have Micah back healthy because he got injured halfway through the season or so, right? Kind of in that.
It was like kind of
ahead of the final
three-quarter mark of the season.
I think it's going to knock someone out. Certainly, the NFC North is the likeliest, obviously, because I think that there's a world where certainly the Rams and Seahawks and a healthy 49ers team are still those.
It's weird because there was so much
seeds.
turnover from the 24 playoffs to the 25 playoffs in the NFC. Like, you had Washington make the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
What was it? Dallas, Minnesota, Detroit, all those teams, Tampa. All those teams made the playoffs in 24, didn't make it in 25. I don't know.
Who's the odd one out? It's not going to be the NFC South, obviously.
It does not feel like there's going to be a lot of turnover from 25 to 26.
Yeah. So I think
a lot of these teams are still really good.
You're looking at, like, whoever's fighting for the wild card in the West and North, one of you guys are getting knocked out if Kyler ends up working out for Minnesota. And that's assuming that they're not as a wild card, right? Like there's a world where the Bears are number one and Kyler's in it. But I think it makes things a little sticky. It makes things real interesting for the NFC North and West. No, I think the Bears are going to be.
I think they're ascending for sure.
Yeah, I really like that Kobe Bryant signing.
Right.
For obvious reasons.
I mean, heck, even in the North, you got the Lions that are.
Yeah.
They look to be improved.
Yeah. I need to issue a correction. Someone said you don't change lanes. I clearly change lanes on the highway. You have to change lanes.
At the last possible second.
No.
No?
I changed lanes, but yeah.
Way before you need to?
I despise changing lanes at the last second. So if I know that I'm going to need to exit, I'll get in that lane miles ahead.
Yeah.
Miles ahead. I don't understand people that get all the way over to the far left lane when they've got like 2 exits to go. We operate on different planes of existence. Like as people.
For the people that like sweep over like 4 lanes.
It's simply not
right
me.
before they exit.
It's like, not me. And I'm not too careful a driver. I'm just a very safe driver. And I don't like change. How do the Seahawks feel about the millionaire's tax that was recently passed by Washington state lawmakers? John Schneider was asked about it yesterday with Wyman and Bob. We'll tell you what he said next on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better.
Fastball, strike 3 called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would rather get my teeth drilled than go to a car dealership. But good news, that changed because of Wayscar Ford in Auburn. The first time I went out there, I was nervous. Just being at a car dealership brings pressure, for me at least. I feel like I'm going to get ripped off or pressure to make a decision that day that I'm just not ready for. But instead, I felt immediately comfortable because there's absolutely no pressure at Wayscar Ford, period. And they back it up with a 5-day or 500-mile, 100% no questions asked money-back guarantee. Wayscar Ford is only going to sell you a car if you want to buy one. So if you want a low-pressure experience, Wayscar Ford in Auburn is where you need to go. By the way, they don't just have Fords, they have everything. Take it from me or check out their reviews. They have thousands of 5-star reviews you can buy with confidence. Wayscar Ford has been family-owned and operated in downtown Auburn for over 103 years. And trust me, you don't stay in business that long by not taking care of people. So see it for yourself at Wayscar Ford in Auburn. That's wayscarford.com.
Find your pot of gold at Lake Washington Windows and Doors with savings up to 20% on new windows and doors for your home. Plus, enjoy easy 12-month same-as-cash financing. Strike gold today. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Spring is here, Seattle, and now is the smartest time to replace your roof. Trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing, a local, family-owned company that knows how to roof in Washington weather year-round. Schedule your free estimate today at 3treeroofing.com to take advantage of spring pricing, shorter wait times, and get $500 off your new roof before the summer rush hits. Our experts come to you, build a clear plan, and give you an estimate that same day. No surprises and no high-pressure sales tactics. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
The best path at that point was to stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier.
The LJ way.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at the spot price. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth over $150,000. Smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. That's why I buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's a crucial part of my balanced strategy. Gives me peace of mind given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you, too. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. Now that's peace of mind. Text Dan to 989898. Again, text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 today. Message and data rates apply.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Coupon it.
When you buy gas, use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline on Bump and Stacy. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus today. I just paused because I always wait for you to go, hi.
Hey.
Okay. I've been waiting to talk about this one. I'm going to be really honest and say that tax law is not a strong suit.
It's not something we normally talk about on this show
it's not
or
something,
on the station.
You know what I mean? It's not my beat. It's not something that I normally cover, that I normally really, really focus on. But it is potentially very important when it comes to sports moving forward. And that doesn't mean this year, but definitely in the future. How did the Seahawks feel about the millionaire's tax that was passed by Washington state lawmakers? John Schneider was asked about it yesterday with Wyman and Bob.
It's been a huge, the agents were kind of, there were a bunch of agents yesterday texting me like, hey, can't use that anymore, buddy, But like it is, I think it is for, all the pro teams here, in town. It's always been a huge attraction, especially competing with, the California teams. It's been a big deal for us. So, it's going to sting. I mean, it's going to, from a recruiting standpoint and, what that looks like and all I'm sure like Mike Reinfeld and, Mickey Loomis and all the Cap guys that have been here before too are looking at this, like, dang, it's gonna sting. There's no question about it.
Will it cost you future signings, Curtis?
Maybe, but I think ultimately players want to win, right? That should be your biggest recruiting pitch. And the Seahawks have a brand new, sparkly, shiny Lombardi trophy in their lobby right now that they can show to prospective free agents and say, hey, we've got one of these in the very recent past. That should be, the ultimate thing that should attract a free agent here is that you've got the ability to win. Now, obviously, the ability to win, you can't do that without attracting free agents. And, this might, make things a little harder. But I think Saul made a decent point this morning where he was like, yes, I think there's like 7 NFL teams that are in states that don't have an income tax right now.
That's what I'm saying. You were already in the minority.
You're joining the majority. So it's not like, and one of those teams is like the Titans. Okay, the Titans are not anywhere close to contention right now. So I don't necessarily think this has been the thing that has kept the Seahawks competitive throughout the duration of their franchise's existence. By the way, this team existed prior to the Paul Allen years and was not good. Like, they were not a well-ran franchise before, Paul Allen and his family took over things in 1996. And guess what? There was no income tax back then either. I think you're going to have to get a little more creative in how you recruit free agents to come to Seattle, but I don't think this is going to spell the end for the Seahawks being a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it's a little bit of a wrench. It's a baby wrench that's thrown into things, and John and them understand it far more than I do in terms of how it's going to affect their ability to sign. I think the way I look at it, Curtis, is like you, which is, okay, you had a slight advantage that, like you said, was not always landing you free agents.
Right.
It's not like that was the biggest tool in your
And
in
we've
your
talked
tool shed.
in the past, too, about like how Seattle's so far away from every other market in the NFL, where the closest team is San Francisco. Like, it's a trek out here if you're not from here.
I would imagine it's more of an annoyance than it is something that will completely take down your ability to sign competitive free agents who, by the way, where you get taxed to what? California.
Yeah. And they seem to have quite the easy time.
Still.
Yeah.
I think winning cures all for a lot of reasons.
Absolutely.
And will continue to be the case here. Again, it's a lot more complicated than I'm giving it credit for, and I understand that, but it's also not my lane. So I'm going to stay in my lane. Like I made clear in our last segment, I stay in my lane.
Brock also made a point, too, that this could actually expedite a JSN or Devin Witherspoon extension, because if you sign them now, because I believe it's not till 2029 when this is supposed to take effect, you sign them now to like a 3-4 year contract extension, they're going to get every penny that they should be getting right now.
Yeah.
So I think that could actually help out the Seahawks in a way, instead of not having to wait around for it. But yeah, what was it in the NHL last year? What was it? Paul Bissonnette of TNT said like the Florida Panthers are at an unfair advantage because they don't have a state income tax. And it's like, well, the Kraken have been pretty mediocre.
Yeah, it sounds like what the Panthers have actually been able to do is to draft, develop, play really, really well, great coaching.
Yeah.
Like, it's
and by the way, in the days since this becoming, I guess, law, you've seen the Seahawks re-sign Rashid Shaheed, re-sign Josh Jobe, and then the Kraken re-sign Jordan Eberle to a 2-year extension.
It's also one of those things where a lot of people who aren't millionaires, including me, are like chiming in about it, where I'm like, who it's not going to affect? 99% of people.
I don't think I'll be paying this tax. You know what? I'd love to be able to pay this tax.
I'd love to pay the tax.
Because I'd be a millionaire.
I'll tell you, John Schneider's paying this tax. Yeah. A lot of people paying this tax. I don't envy them.
And you know what?
Sucks
Howard Schultz is not in Washington anymore. We win.
My
we
God.
won.
Can we complain?
Be gone.
Can we complain about that for 10 seconds? Never has anyone less needed to say they're leaving. Never has an announcement been less necessary. Howard, no one cares.
You cost us the Sonics.
No one cares. And I'll hand to God. Like, I admit that I still go to Starbucks, okay? I love cold foam. I'm sorry. I'm not proud of myself. We all have our vices, okay? I'm working on it. However, I loathe Howard Schultz.
Yeah.
I hate his dumb face and his dumb attitude and his backstabbing ways. No one cares that you're going to Miami. You don't need to make that announcement. Frankly, I didn't know you were still here. I'm going to be honest about that. I had no idea you were still here.
Should we go to Miami for our next timeline
story? Miami Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra was asked about the criticism his team got for Bam's big 83-point performance. He was in absolutely no mood to apologize.
I apologize to absolutely no one. Period. And going into the game, it's a Tuesday night game against a team where they're not playing for anything, where their organization is trying to lose. We've already lost a game, in that kind of situation. We have players that are sitting out, and I spoke to Bam about I want, as our best player and team captain, for him to be locked in and ready. And he sure was.
I like that Spoelstra is like, I'm not apologizing for this. Why should he?
I'm sorry, it wasn't a quality 83 points. I wish Bump was here for this.
Yeah, there is nothing that anybody did wrong on that night. It was a random Tuesday night in the NBA, and like as Spoelstra points out, it was against a team that was trying to tank. Like, they were not trying to win that game at all. Like, I saw somebody from The Athletic, a reputable sports journalism outlet, I think it was Sam Amick, say that Bam Adebayo should have stopped at 81 out of respect for Kobe. And it's like, you know what? Sam Amick, who is like a national writer for...
Horrible take.
You know who would have hated that choice?
Kobe
Bryant. He was all about setting records and all about pushing the game forward.
He was cutthroat.
Yeah, exactly. Like, miss me with that
Stone
entirely.
Cold Killer, all-timer.
Bam Adebayo did nothing wrong. The Heat did nothing wrong. Like, this is the fact that this is even a controversy, that somebody scored the second most points in an NBA game ever, like, that just kind of says more about the sports debate culture nowadays than it does anything else. Like, this should be celebrated. Not maybe not to the level of Kobe Bryant, because Bam Adebayo is nowhere near as popular as Kobe. Like, not to say that Bam's a bad guy or anything, but like,
there's lots of legislating.
It's cool that he did this.
I completely get. Bump made great points. I completely get the idea, especially if look, Kobe's near and dear to his heart, near and dear to the hearts of many Lakers fans, and I also understand the idea of context really mattering to how impressive someone's performance is. But regardless of context, 83 points is still absolutely wild. And I think it's well within the right of Spoelstra, of Bam, of the rest of his teammates to be like, I don't care. That takes horrendous, absolutely horrific, that you should stop at 81 to pay respect. Gross.
Like,
what a bad take.
Kobe died in a horrific, tragic accident that, I mean, was just so shocking and awful, and so many people's lives were impacted by it. But that should have nothing to do with it.
You also made the best point possible in that he was one of the fiercest competitors we have ever seen.
Yeah. And
would have no respect for that take.
I think his last tweet ever was paying respect to LeBron James surpassing his scoring record, his total points record, and was saying, like, you know, keep moving the game forward. Like, I think Kobe would have been quite all right with seeing his record.
Time for the IRG injury report, brought to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Bryce Miller, without oblique injury, scrapped his bullpen session earlier in the week after feeling discomfort. Shannon Dreyer told us this doesn't mean he's been shut down completely from throwing. Speaking of baseball, suddenly April really, really matters for this team. That's next.
Wyman and Bob, live from Mariners spring training.
General Manager Justin Hollander is with us. You got decisions to make. I mean, you got a lot of young guys at second base. It could be Cole Young, could be Ryan Bliss. Brandon Davis has been a huge story.
There has never been a team in the history of baseball who had too many good players.
Yeah.
We will have our ups and downs this year. We will need more than just the 13 position players and the 13 pitchers we break camp with. It's great to watch guys go out and compete for spots and feel like you have options.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube and watch the full interview.
Welcome to IRG Sports Injury Update. We're with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and president of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. And our guest, Dr. Wes Mitchell, orthopedic surgeon at Everett Bone and Joint.
Dr. Mitchell, welcome. Hand surgeon, Everett Bone and Joint, right there in Everett, Washington. Tell us what epicondylitis is, better speaking, lateral epicondylitis, tennis elbow.
All right, so tennis elbow or lateral epicondylitis is a degenerative condition that is consistent of inflammation and tendinitis, specifically of the ECRB tendon that connects the wrist to the lateral side of the elbow or the outside of the elbow. Its primarily function is to extend the wrist, and so a lot of sport activities involve wrist extension and elbow extension, and that combination can really fire up that tendon. So unfortunately, very common. The good news is it does go away, although it can take a long time to do that. The things that we can do to help it go away faster are physical therapy. We can do braces, whether they're elbow braces or wrist braces, and sometimes we actually do injections. Very few people actually need surgery for this. And return to sport is expected, absolutely. It may take 4 to 6 weeks of rest, or maybe just some pain management while the tendon sort of slowly heals itself. But overall, the prognosis is good.
Excellent. And it's conservative treatment, modification of activities. If need be, they can progress with you and you can do injections, and rarely do they need surgery. Return to play is good. Dr. Mitchell, thank you for your information. If you want more information regarding tennis elbow, lateral epicondylitis, or any hand injuries, you can contact Dr. Wes Mitchell at everettboneandjoint.com. That's everettboneandjoint.com.
With over 40 neighborhood clinics around Washington, IRG has you covered. Let IRG be your family's physical therapist. Find the location nearest you at irgpt.com. That's irgpt.com.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house.
It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's Harley, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
Opening day is just days away, and we want to send you and a friend to experience it like never before. Get front row access to the opening ceremonies, player introductions, first pitch, and more, all from the field. To enter, just open the Seattle Sports app and hit the Win tab. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Better hustle. Contest runs through March 18th. From the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports. Get broadcast times for every Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At seattlesports.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's kind of a weird time of the year where you're not reacting to any more games. You're barely reacting to signings for Seattle. They've added just a couple outside free agents. No big contract extensions for JSN. Baseball season hasn't really started in the middle of the WBC, which is fun to watch, but doesn't really affect your season. TBD on Cal and Randy. So this is going to sound very abstract, but I find this topic entertaining. So stay with me here. I want to talk about how watching baseball in April will feel and should feel different because of the Mariners' expectations. Now, I was too young for the best
late
years
90s,
of I have no real memory of baseball. So if someone else who does have cherished memories of that time in Mariners history, you could let me know. That's what we're here for, about expectations. So in my lived experience, these are the highest the expectations have ever been for the Mariners that I can remember. And I don't know about you guys, but I can already feel myself start to prickle at the idea that April and May and maybe even June, it doesn't matter. Man, when you are trying to get to and win a World Series, I think it does. And I'm not talking about I'm going to lose my mind if they have a horrible game in April. To me, the way I'm watching April is people don't have to be at the peak of their performance for the season. You're still warming up, right? You're not going to be looking your absolute best. You're not going to be really getting into the swing of things, no pun intended. But being above 500 in April matters.
Yeah. Well, and as we learned last year, getting that first round bye and getting the automatic berth into the divisional round is so important. And the Mariners only finished 2 games ahead of Cleveland for that automatic berth into the divisional round. Think of any random Tuesday and Wednesday night in April. Think of any random Tuesday and Wednesday night in May. That was the difference between the Mariners having to play a wild card round. It would have been against the Tigers, who, as we learned, the Tigers played the Mariners very close last year in the playoffs. And, I mean, in that scenario where you only have to win 2 games, the Mariners, could have seen their season end before even getting to the divisional round. That is how important it was to win those games early on, because the Mariners last year, Stacey, as you pointed out in the break, after April, so they played a week in March, and then after April, the Mariners' record was 18-12. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good start.
And think of how important all of that was in hindsight.
Right. Exactly.
I know that's what you're saying.
No, I know. Yeah, you needed all those wins.
You're really emphasizing your point here.
Well, and look, they actually got off to a pretty poor start last year. If you remember, after the Giants series, they got swept in San Francisco. They were 3-7 to start the year. But then after that, they finished off the month of April going 15-5. So 18-12 was their record heading into May. They actually won their first 2 games in May, too. So they were 20-12 after their first 32 games last year. And that turned out to be very important, especially, at one point in the first half of the season, they were close to 500. They kind of fell back down to earth, but then in the month of September caught fire.
Any year you could have a Rocktober type season from someone. You could have a team that feels and looks completely out of it. I think there are some people that would argue that the Mariners were out of it and then got back into it. I'm not going to argue that. I didn't know that they would get back into and win the AL West, but there was a point, especially after that Yankee series, specifically giving up that no-hitter, that gutting game against the Yankees, where you just thought ooh, this is the
I'd blocked that out of my mind.
Yeah,
Brian
this is
Wood
the low
no-hitter.
point, right? And then there were a couple games after that where you were like, oh, this is definitely the low point. So I get it. There were moments when you thought oh, this isn't going to happen. But even though you can be the team that feels completely out of it and then goes on an absolutely historic, crazy run, I would rather not. Those runs are historic because they're not especially common, and anything can happen in baseball. But I think that typically when you look at power rankings week in and week out, month in, month out, they're usually reflective of the teams you're going to see in the playoffs. And I want the Mariners to routinely be at the top.
Yeah, and I think we've talked a lot about the Seahawks title window in the last couple of weeks, having won one. And, how long do we think this is going to go for? Whereas here in Seattle with the Mariners, it's kind of the same thing. How long do we think this is going to go for? Now, you have Julio and Cal, your 2 most important players, signed to long-term extensions. That's great. That is – I don't think it can be emphasized enough, how long these guys are going to be in Mariners uniforms for. That is – to get that off your chest and to not have to worry about that.
And sign before Cal's 60 home run
Exactly.
season.
Cal signed for
Cal.
way under market value.
Oh, no.
But you know what? Hey, I'm glad the Mariners were able to get that deal done when they did, because you're talking about an extra $10 to $15 million per year on top of what Cal signed for. So congrats to them for getting that done. But the Mariners window, even if they are not able to get guys like Logan Gilbert or George Kirby signed to extensions, it does feel like they are going to be at least competitive for, at least the next 4 or 5 years, which again is, Jerry Dipoto and his front office have been criticized for the method in which they've gone about building their team. How it's been a very slow build. We're in the second decade now of Jerry DiPoto's tenure here in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
He's crossed that 10-year threshold, and it's only resulted in 2 playoff appearances. But I don't think it's going to end with just those 2 playoff appearances. I think there's going to be more. And last year was a great start to that, and you've got 2 pillars of your franchise ready to go.
How I have that little plastic cup in the control room that's the Don't Go Anywhere cup.
Right.
And that's where, and this is not that anyone matters, but one of my crutches is saying, don't go anywhere, it breaks. And when I say don't go anywhere, I have to put $1 in the cup or like some change in the cup. I'm going to do that for all of us, and it's going to be These Games Don't Matter. And it's going to be the These Games Don't Matter or Spring Doesn't Matter Cup. And anytime the Mariners have a horrendous performance or a horrendous series, you can say, hey, I'm watching for this, this, and this, and talk your way around it. But if anyone says none of this matters, I'm going to make you put $1 in the cup. It'll also lighten the load for me.
There you go.
So, opening day is almost here. We're sending one of you and a friend to experience it like never before. So, imagine getting front row access to the opening ceremony, player introductions, the first pitch, and so much more, all from the field. To enter, all you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, text the word app to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Friday, March 18th. The latest from John Schneider coming your way next.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
Sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here for my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, and they got some great entertainment coming through, like Hinder on April 4th, Pop 2000 Tour in August, and then, yes, Queensryche in October. All the info at snocasino.com. And while you're there, you got to check out the Falls Buffet, serving up all your favorites, prime rib every day, fresh pasta, delicious stir-fry, pizzas, salad bar, dessert bar, the pies made every day. It is Seattle's closest, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
Whether I'm catching up with friends or family, Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue is the place. Hey, Brock Heward here, and I love Sea Star's welcoming atmosphere and polished service, which make conversations flow easily and everyone leaves impressed. It's the same quality and hospitality Sea Star and Chef John Howie have been known for decades. And now an amazing deal. 3-course dinners in the lounge every night from open to close, starting at just $50. Go check it out. Find the details at SeaStarRestaurant.com, SeaStarRestaurant.com.
High five. Up top. Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
After years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always, go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy. Well, and my buddy and co-host Bob Stelton, also in pain, and decided to go see Dr. Wagner.
I had a hip issue from 14 years of jiu-jitsu.
How's the pain now?
Everything I did before, I can do just as well. Hitting the heavy bag, sparring, rolling, all of that is back in play. This whole thing has been such a pleasant surprise because I really was of the mindset, I'm going to have to go under the knife. I'm going to have to get surgery. And this really saved me from that. I could not be happier with the results.
Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine.
Do it. You will not regret it.
Hey, get the facts, hear from all the patients I've talked to, and schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. We're showing you the green for St. Patty's Day. Right now, find your pot of gold with exciting savings on saltwater hot tubs. Best of all, you'll get 5 full years to pay for it interest-free. Wow! Don't let your luck run out. This limited event ends St. Patrick's Day. Visit us today at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Hour and a half drive here to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today to carsforkids.org. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS. Donation is super easy and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Team USA takes on Team Canada tonight in the WBC. Winner will face either South Korea or the Dominican Republic. The Seahawks added a running back. Seattle signed former Packer Emmanuel Wilson yesterday, making him the second outside free agent added.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Seahawks GM John Schneider was on with Wyman and Bob yesterday. If you missed it, we're going to catch you up right now. Let's talk about everything the GM said. We'll start with this one on departing free agents: Kobe, K9, Mafe, and Reek.
It's sad. It's we're going to miss Kobe. We're going to miss his impressions and obviously the players. But these guys like Ken Walker, what a pro. You know, Boye Mafe's his laugh, his contagious laugh. You know, I mean, Reek's 6'5", 4'2". You know, I mean, it's just, you know, like I told you guys last week, it's hard. You know, you try to map it out, and I mean, we're excited about what's happened, but you try to map it out, and we know that, you know, you're gonna, you know, we're making tough decisions, and you know, we just won a world championship with these guys, and they become fan favorites, and yeah, it's a hard time of the year.
Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus. Curtis, whose play will the Seahawks miss most? It's clear they're going to miss them as people.
Yeah, I think Ken Walker would probably have the biggest impact on the 26 roster of these four guys. But, man, Kobe was really important to what the defense did. I mean, he's a starter on a Super Bowl winner. Yeah, I think either Walker or Kobe Bryant, to me, would be the two biggest losses of that group of four. What I want to know, though, is what kind of impressions was Kobe Bryant doing? Was he doing like a Jerry Seinfeld?
We're going to miss his
was
impressions.
He doing a Rodney Dangerfield?
Other people on the team, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. That would be great.
Oh, God,
I would love to hear a Sam Darnold impression from Kobe Bryant.
I would absolutely
throw another
love it.
pick in the soupy. Do you think...
Reek Woolen impression from Kobe Bryant.
Shoot.
Shoot.
I was listening.
I'm going to miss that from Reek.
I was listening to Reek Woolen's introductory press conference with the Eagles. His very first answer, he goes, shoot.
God
and I'm just like,
guy.
man, he's never changing.
And he
I love
shouldn't.
that.
John Schneider also talked about re-signing Shahid.
Rashid, for instance, we thought that was going to be very difficult to get him back. We just hung with it, and he really wanted to be here. He loved his experience here. He loves everybody in the building, and we gave two draft picks for him, and so that one was okay. That was really hard. So we were able to stay in range with him, and Josh Jobe, getting Josh back was big for us.
You had Rashid Shaheed as your priority number 1 for free agents to re-sign. Why?
Because that wide receiver room comes with a lot of questions once you get past JSN. Cooper Kupp, probably in the twilight of his career. Torrey Horton, we don't know if he is going to be a big-time contributor based off of the health concerns that he's had, dealing with the ACL injury in college and then the shin injury that kept him out for nearly all of last season. I mean, he only played like a quarter of the games last year. So you needed somebody beyond JSN in that wide receiver room. Now, Rashid Shaheed's biggest impact came in the return game last year. It was not as a wide receiver. But I think with a full offseason rather than joining the team mid-season, I think that's going to get him a little bit more familiarity. I don't think this is like a repeat of the whole Percy Harvin trade where, if you remember in the 2014 season, the year after they had won the Super Bowl, Harvin was here for the first month of the year before they traded him to the Jets. But they really tried to get the ball to Percy Harvin in those first 4 games to the point it was at the detriment of the rest of the offense.
Where you could tell it was a similar conversation with he was impactful on special teams. He had missed so much time with concussions and various other injuries, but that it was the same kind of thing. You're right with well, you want to figure out how to use them.
Yeah.
How do you implement them?
And I think Shaheed's personality is completely opposite of what Percy Harvin's
You don't think he's punching someone in the face?
I don't see it from Rashid Shaheed. Now, I could be wrong. Look, there's a beast that lies inside of all of us. Okay. You don't want to awaken that.
He's definitely got that dog in him.
He does. But I think he uses his powers for good.
Okay. Well, I hope so. We're sticking with Rashid here, talking about Fleury being excited to get him back.
Brian was very excited about the possibility of getting Rashid back. I was kind of tempering it a little bit. Careful. I don't know. I don't want to get too excited, So, he's excited. He's been great. He's been pliable, through the process, kind of just reacting with us and watching everything that's going on. Obviously, at the the running back position is a position we signed Emmanuel Wilson this afternoon. But that's an area we like our guys. We love the guys on our team right now, but we'll be continuing to look at that position. But he was great, going through I say the weekend. It was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever. Going through the process with him.
It's probably so fun as a coordinator to have a player with that speed.
Oh yeah, you're probably just diagramming plays like crazy.
It's not like he's been diagramming plays for the 49ers, but they don't really have that guy.
Right? Yeah, they haven't had an explosive receiver like that in long time. Debo's skill set a lot different than Shaheed's. Same with Brandon Ayuk's
explosive in different ways.
Yeah, whereas Shaheed is just all burners, just so fast. He has elite speed. That's got to be really exciting for a first-time play caller in Brian Fleury to have that option wherever it is. And you don't even have to use him just in the passing game too. You can use him on end arounds. You can use him out of the backfield too. So it's just a lot of fun, I imagine, Brian Fleury getting to use Shaheed in his offense.
All right, let's go to, I played this earlier for 4 Down Territory, but I'm going to jump back to what John had to say about that running back room, beginning with George Holani.
George Holani, the one thing that got overlooked in those last 2 games, and Mike, I was talking to Mike about this, or Mike McDonald. George, he had 2 really. He was awesome in the NFC Championship game, and he was awesome in the Super Bowl. His pass protection, he made that great, he made that 8-yard catch with first down. It was a big, real huge play for us, and he's he just every time he goes in the game, he just performs.
He had a lot of praise for George Holani.
He did.
I'm gonna
read into that. I'm definitely going to read into that. I think Holani is somebody that this coaching staff has really liked. Through the opportunities that have been given to him, him being an undrafted guy, they seem to have really liked what he has done in practice over the course of his Seahawks tenure, because I think that was year 2 of George Holani here in Seattle. And obviously, with the running back depth being what it is here in Seattle, he's going to be of the utmost importance once the season gets going. And, I mean, look, somebody's going to have to see an increase in their playing time with Ken Walker being gone and just so many question marks surrounding the running back position here in Seattle. That I think Holani kind of is the guy right now that the coaching staff and the front office is looking at. It's like, all right, like, here's your shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's go see if you can maximize this opportunity.
How do you feel about a running back room of, and I'm sorry for excluding guys that might have signed to future deals or who were on the practice squad. There are a few other names, but a running back room right now of Holani, McIntosh, Charbonnet, and Wilson.
I would like one more.
Why?
Just because
I agree with you.
I think just because of the guys that are going to be available throughout the offseason, Wilson has the most playing experience, and even then, it's not a lot. Whereas Holani, you mentioned, had 73 yards last year, and again, that's just not a lot of playing time for him. You've got McIntosh, who's been banged up a lot of his career, and again has only played sparingly in his first 2 seasons in the league. And look, if Charbonnet was around, like, I think this is a group you go forward with.
Right, if Charbonnet was starting week 1.
Yeah, if Charbonnet is healthy by week 1, this is the group you go forward with. Like, no questions asked. Like, this would be a pretty decent running back room to have.
He's not.
And we don't know when he's going to be ready. And if he's not ready in the season's first 2 or 3 weeks, I think you're going to have to go and cover yourself and get somebody that can be a lead back in those situations.
I hope it's not this case. I really do. And it's certainly, there's not some report out there that it will be, but there is a world where he's not ready for the first couple months.
Yeah.
So I think that really gets to the bottom of why I would love to see more added, whether it's a trade for Alvin Kamara for, send over some day 3 pick, whether it's, signing Brian Robinson Jr., who has experience with your OC, who is his run game coordinator. I just would like to see a little more competition added. I think that it is great to have faith in the players that you have, and you should. And there's always a world where you have an undrafted rookie free agent, Thomas Rawls, who comes in and has over 800 yards. Fantastic. Where you have a guy who is nearly undrafted with Chris Carson, who comes in 2018 and completely outshines your first-round pick with a 1,000-yard season. Those worlds are possible, but I don't want to count on them. And to be fair, neither did this team. This team wasn't counting on Chris Carson doing that. They took a running back in the first round. Now, it didn't end up working out, but I don't think the lesson learned is that you don't stock your room with competition because you never know when a guy could have 1,000 yards. I think the lesson learned is that you always stock your room with competition.
And running back is one of those spots where you can never have enough.
Look at it the other way, where Chris Carson was there as competition just in case Penny didn't work out too.
Exactly. You've got 4 picks to work with in the draft. I think that is probably where you're going to find the biggest difference maker available remaining in free agency and in the draft. I think you're going to find somebody that could pair with Zach Charbonnet and have Emmanuel Wilson there and Holani and all those guys. I think that is the best route where the Seahawks can find the help in their running back room. And look, if you take somebody in the 3rd round, pick 96, I think is where they're taking.
Yeah,
32, 64, 96. Yeah.
1738.
I said, hey, what's up, hello?
I thought you should have said, hey, what's up? How the heck are you?
How you doing, big guy? I think that spot is going to be where you're going to have to find a running back, whether it be trading up, whether it be trading out of the first round, acquiring more picks in the 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th rounds and stuff like that, because I just don't know if you're going to have enough bites of the apple to find your running back and then also address some of the other needs on this roster.
Someone said, what about Robbie Utes? Did we cut him and I missed the memo with some sarcasm? No, I mean,
He's a fullback.
He's a fullback, and I'm looking at guys where I completely agree with Bump, and if Bump was here, he would make this point. You can hold 2 thoughts simultaneously. 1, that you wouldn't have paid Ken Walker what he got from Kansas City. And 2, that you are missing something with losing Ken Walker. And you need to find a way to replace it. I think that people are looking at Ken Walker giving you the 3 best games he could, 3 best games of the season, and going, oh, well, that's not reflective of who he is. Well, wait a minute. Like, I know he was part of a committee this year, and that's probably part of the reason he was able to stay healthy. But there's also this, like, really misplaced narrative, and I think incorrect narrative, that he's hurt all the time and not very talented. He's one of the most explosive.
Really talented,
he's one of the most explosive running backs in football.
Yeah.
In football.
And showed his importance to what the Seahawks want to do here in the season's final month, when it was like, all right, this is your job now.
You lost Charbonnet.
You're our guy.
You needed him the most, and he gave you 300 yards in 3 games.
Yeah. And was carrying the ball 20-plus times a game and was chewing up clock.
Yeah.
And had 2 big runs in the Super Bowl.
And a hat trick in the divisional. If what you want to say is like, hey, thanks, man, appreciate the help. Unfortunately, I'm not going to pay you. That's cool. But you need to be honest about what you need to replace.
Yeah.
It's not just a guy that can give you 500 yards.
I think solid running back play is the thing that gets taken for granted the most in the NFL.
I think so, too. It's a really good point.
I think people look at running backs as just a dime a dozen and expendable. And it's like, oh, well, you bring anybody in here, they'll get 1,000 yards.
And you can make the case, not to get 1,000 yards, but you could make the case that, like, they are one of the more easier to replace positions in terms of, like, be a freak athlete.
Right.
All right. Bet. You can find a few of those.
Sure. There's freak athletes everywhere on an NFL roster, but, like, you got to find a guy who's got all the skill set needed to be a lead back in the NFL. And, I mean, we've seen what good running backs look like here in Seattle. You know, Marshawn Lynch, Sean Alexander, like those.
Carson.
Chris Carson as well. We've also know what bad running backs look like here in Seattle. I'm looking at that 2017 season when there was nothing going on.
Do you remember the running back who did get a rushing touchdown?
J.D. McKissick.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a Sunday night game, Monday night game against the
now
Lions
you're being
or something
weird.
like that. Yeah, or against the Colts. Or something.
It was early in the season.
Yeah.
I think, right?
It was very early in the season.
Point being, I'll never forget that 2017 season in terms of just because I wrote about it every single week. In terms of, like, the floor is lower than you think in terms of trying to replace talent. Now, I'd rather be trying to replace a running back than replace a quarterback.
Yeah,
that floor's even lower. But I don't know. I'd like to see one more person added.
Yeah.
And I hope that what ends up happening is, you know, like I said, Helani has a spectacular season, that Kenny McIntosh, who I've always wanted to see more of, has a great year, that Charbonnet gets back sooner than we expect. But I'm not a gambler. I got to be honest. It's not that I don't believe it. I'm not a gambler. I want someone else in this room.
I think that would put a lot of people's concerns about the running back room to sleep if you went out and got one more guy to add to this room.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, rewrite!
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Seahawks have added outside free agents. They did it. They're signing former Packers running back Emmanuel Wilson and former Colts safety Rodney Thomas. What's the real headline?
John Schneider said, here, damn.
Get off my back.
Calm down.
Saying I don't do anything.
God. I'd be so irritated all the time if I were him. He's so jovial.
He is. He's a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy.
I would say he's sarcastic and funny.
Yeah, he definitely, he's got a dry sense of humor. I think Step Brothers is his favorite movie, if I'm not mistaken.
That checks out.
Which, yeah, I mean, when I think of people who like the movie Step Brothers, it's him, it's Dave Wyman, some of the funniest people I know.
Dave Wyman told me to watch Slapshot a couple years ago. That was one of the funniest movies, and I said I would watch it if he watched Mean Girls.
Did he watch Mean Girls?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dave Wyman, very funny.
Well, so
guy.
he says. He claims, but I took him at his word.
I think he would have a good time watching Mean Girls.
Yeah, I think so too. Dave Wyman loves a good joke.
He does. Wilson and Thomas, I mean, it's not bad that they're adding.
I'm eager to see Bump mentioned like an absolute weirdo on his day off watching film of...
Get a life, man.
God, go outside, Bump.
Touch grass. It snowed today. Go
I know it
snow.
snowed, but he was watching film of Thomas. He was tweeting about it. I'm eager to see to hear some of his takeaways on Monday. I want to know what he saw.
Yeah, he tweeted just watch lots of film on Rodney Thomas. I'll say this. I get it.
Let's text him right now and say, are you watching film?
Yeah. Is that why you're not here, Bump? You had to take all day to watch Rodney Thomas film and Emmanuel Wilson film?
Bump, are you gone because you're watching
Rodney Thomas film?
All right, we'll let him know. What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Kyler Murray signed a 1-year deal with Minnesota. What's the real headline?
He really is the new man on the Minnesota Vikings. No. Kyler.
There it is.
He drove up in his thimble and he said, I'm here to fight. I'm here to get ready and party.
His Stuart Little car. God.
One of my fellow petites. I'll always support my fellow petites.
Lizzo's 2017 hit, Truth Hurts.
Banger.
That's 9 years old, though.
9 years.
I said it was a 10-year-old song. I was
You're
close.
Right. You're right.
I was really close.
God. That flew by. Like, I know that song is older. I know that Lizzo has been out for a minute. Like, I know all of that. But 9 years in theory feels or seems so much longer than that actually feels.
Yeah. That song is in the 4th grade now. That's how old it is.
I like Kyler Murray to Minnesota. I think that it makes the NFC playoff chase very interesting. I do disagree with Dominic Foxworth, who said that the Minnesota Vikings with Kyler Murray become maybe the second best team in the NFC behind the Rams. I do disagree with him on that. However, I think they do become that much better because Minnesota's problem last year was not their defense. It was not their wide receivers. It wasn't their head coach, play caller. It was quarterback play and turnovers.
Yeah. I think the Vikings right now are still a few pieces away from even being the best team in their own division. I think the Bears are better than them. I think the Packers are better than them. I even think the Lions are better than them. I think the Lions are due for a bounce-back season this year. I think they're going to be in the mix for a playoff spot as well. So, yeah, it's going to take a little bit more than Kyler Murray, who has never really shown his ability to lift all boats. A rising tide lifts all boats, but he's never been that kind of quarterback in his career, and I don't know if that changes with this change of scenery. Maybe
because Arizona has been poorly run from the second he's been there.
Yeah, the Cardinals have been a joke.
Yes, and he's someone who now from the outside looking in, right? But like sometimes doesn't have the like best body language possible, and has had rumors about work ethic stuff, and like sometimes players that can take a minute to allow themselves to fall into those leadership roles or mature even more, like maybe they do need more supportive environments, and I don't think Arizona's that environment.
Yeah.
Well, Arizona's tough. If you're someone like Budda Baker, you can succeed because you're a baller and you're mature and you're self-driven. But
same with like Larry Fitzgerald, who played his entire career with the Cardinals and went through horrible quarterback after horrible quarterback.
But like I think sometimes players that don't have that innate sense of like you're driving yourself are going to thrive in an organization where you don't have the best support system around you.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Team USA takes on Canada in the knockout round of the World Baseball Classic. What's the real headline?
Josh Naylor has a chance to do the funniest thing.
Come on, Josh. Do it.
He's not going to do it.
Do it.
He's not going to. But he has a chance
hilarious. It'd be so good.
Is Cal scheduled? Is that the schedule they're currently on?
I have not seen lineups yet, but my guess is that it is Will Smith behind the dish tonight with the hopes of Cal playing
against either South Korea or the Dominican.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Starting lineup out. Out just 15 minutes ago.
Okay, who's it?
Cal Raleigh behind the dish tonight. Logan Webb starting for Team USA. Bobby Witt Jr., Bryce Harper, and Judge Schwarber, Bregman, Roman Anthony, Raleigh, Terang, and then Pete Crow Armstrong.
See, I'll tell you what, Mark DeRosa said, we got to win this.
Yeah, that's my
their winning lineup
right there.
I need to put my dogs out there.
Also, did you see that they have added a few different relievers to Team USA for the knockout round, and then also Clayton Kershaw not on the roster for the knockout round. They replaced him with Joe Ryan, who's a pretty good starting pitcher. So it seems like they're actually taking this seriously now.
Yeah.
Now that they've gotten to the knockout round.
Mark DeRosa will be able to eventually live that down. But that was pretty...
Only if they win, I think. Well, yeah. I mean, they did.
He's got nothing really at stake. I mean, what? People are going to make fun of him, and the people are going to make fun of everyone. People still make fun of Dan Orlovsky for running out of the end zone. Like, there's just some people where it's like, you're going to succeed in spite of that. It's just going to be something people point to. I actually took more issue with him backing down from it and trying to make it seem as though he didn't
Seems as
say
though
it.
we were the ones that misquoted him.
We misquoted him.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think so.
That's my mistake. That's what I kind of took issue with, where I was like, oh, Mark, come on, man. Come on. Could an NFC West rival land A.J. Brown? That's coming up next.
Brock and Salk.
I got a text from a friend that said, I'm having a discussion with a buddy.
Morning 6 to 10.
He says the Mariners are better than last year. I told him I'd get your expert opinion. Well, I appreciate being labeled an expert in this case.
Did you answer?
I did answer.
On paper, you would see that this is a more mature team and a complete team.
Brock and Salk. Morning 6 to 10 on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. You know, Dave, I love sport. You love sport. And I love sitting with coaches and hearing their game plan each and every week. What are the keys to a First Mark Insurance game plan?
It's a great question, Brock. I think there's really 3 keys to a great game plan with us. Number 1 is we want to make sure that our clients have the correct coverage for their unique specific needs. So that's number 1. Do you have the right coverage? Number 2, once we have the right coverage, are we getting that coverage at the most competitive price possible? And then last and not least would be, once we have the right coverage at the most competitive price, are we providing world-class service to those customers so that when they need it, they have someone there that's got their back?
Those are the 3 keys to a First Mark Challenge victory. And man, am I so glad Molly and I took the challenge. We are one of so many through a decade plus of being a First Mark Challenge victory. You can too. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com. Firstmarkinsurance.com.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better.
Fastball, strike 3 called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose. Every great partnership begins with the first step.
Bella, let's go.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Don't miss 3 Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be 2. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them. but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Going to an NFC West rival, land wide receiver A.J. Brown from the Eagles. The Athletics' Diana Rossini says the Rams discussed trading for A.J. Brown before they landed Trent McDuffie. But Rossini says that while talks have slowed, L.A. has continued to monitor Brown's availability. I don't like A.J. Brown going to L.A.
That would be too much.
Or it could end up being a problem.
Right.
What if he goes there and he's like,
Nakua?
yeah, he's like, why are you throwing the ball?
Loves these for his team.
Although
it's a good-looking uniform, I would say.
Yeah,
it's not ugly.
No, it looks cool.
I like the guitar string stripes on the sleeves. They're pretty subtle, but
it's a little Kraken-esque to me. Shades
of
the Kraken, but with a baby blue, like a carnation blue, instead of teal.
They're just dipping back into their roots as the Houston Oilers.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think they something we worried about. He's obviously staying in Seattle. Instead, it's fellow wide receiver Derek Young. He is signing with Las Vegas. Good for Derek.
Good for him. Yeah, good for him to go to a familiar situation with Kubiak. And with that signing, that now caps off the second contracts that the class of 2022 here in Seattle signed, surpassing $300 million in contracts over that entire group. That's insane, the amount of success that group has had.
Someone said, self-aware? What else is Woolen going to say? Coached response. Well, then if you think that, there's no winning for him. You know what I mean? So if he says that, I'm just going to go coached response and then move on? Or do I say, wow, okay, he could have answered, I want to be better in this certain coverage. I need to be...
and putting that answer out there, now people are going to go back to that sound if he makes a mistake. He's putting pressure on himself to improve in that area by vocalizing what area he needs to work on.
I just think, man, you got to let someone have some wins once in a while.
Yeah.
If you decide you don't like someone, that's fine. But, I think Woolen said the right answer. Is it advised from other people? Is that feedback he's gotten over and over and over? Yes. But also deciding to say it publicly is still a choice.
Yeah.
Being willing to talk about it is still a choice. You could just be stubborn and say, well, I don't care. I'm not going to do anything. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's see. Kyler Murray sounds like someone excited to no longer be an Arizona Cardinal.
Me and K.O. go back to the Elite 11 days. I remember, during the combine, I did I had an interview with the Redskins at the time, Commanders, and he was with them, and he pulled me aside after my meeting with them. And ever since then, our relationship, he's always made sure to check in on me, whether it was after a game, things like that. So I always respected that. I always appreciated his opinion of me and the support that he's given me. So for now, getting to play for him and have that relationship with him means the world. Obviously, he's had a lot of success with different quarterbacks, and he's one of the best offensive minds in the game. So I'm looking forward to going to work with him.
I'm intrigued by this relationship already.
Yeah,
I am. Until it bothers the Seahawks, until it gets in their way, I'm intrigued.
It's the ultimate test of is Kevin O'Connell this QB whisperer, because he had a lot of success with Sam Darnold, had success with Kirk Cousins, did not have it with J.J. McCarthy. So Kyler Murray has all the talent in the world. Can he get him playing to his fullest capabilities?
What's the biggest questions you got about the Mariners in spring training? Bob Stelton joining us from Peoria at 1.
Wyman and Bob, live from Mariners spring training.
Excited to speak with Kate Anderson with us, knowing there are a lot of eyes on you. There are a lot of people that are excited about your potential. And is that something you're even really aware of, or are you just tunnel vision on what you're working on?
Just really trying to take it all in. The cameras are cameras. It's kind of part of it if you want to play professional baseball anyway. So really just try to take it all in, try to get as much information I can out of the vets, and just having a blast so far.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube and watch the full interview.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Heward here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years. And you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Don't miss the Seattle RV Show, March 12th through 15. Hundreds of new models and floor plans. RVs for every budget. RVs for every lifestyle. Special rates, incentives, exclusive prices, accessories. Tickets at SeattleRVShow.com. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Ward C. Moeller and Associates remind parents to enroll your kids in a positive youth program. Sports, hobbies, and community activities improve overall health and performance in school. These programs decrease drug use and violence and develop self-discipline and leadership skills. Let's team together this year to help our kids reach their full potential. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Ward C. Moeller & Associates. Family owned since 1955, providing top quality services for all your land surveying needs.
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years. Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Opening day is just days away, and we want to send you and a friend to experience it like never before. Get front row access to the opening ceremonies, player introductions, first pitch, and more, all from the field. To enter, just open the Seattle Sports app and hit the Win tab. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Better Hustle contest runs through March 18th from the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports. Don't miss the all-sound plumbing Mariners Cactus League report. Tuesday nights at 6. Going inside Mariners camp on the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
The madness tips off next week, and with it comes your chance to win the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
P&D Tree Service, experts in local tree removal. Their team works fast to remove problem trees in your yard and neighborhood. Have you ever seen a tree removed by a crane? P&D Tree Services specializes in close-quarter tree removal to minimize impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service. Any job, big or small. Safe, efficient, and fast. P&D Tree Service turns multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. Enjoy a clean, safe, and bright yard. PNDTreeService.com.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. It's important to know you have several options for treatment. I'm here with Dr. Meyer, medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, to talk about one of the best and technologically advanced treatment options, CyberKnife. Dr. Meyer, why is CyberKnife one of the best procedures to treat prostate cancer?
Well, treatment for prostate cancer can affect men's quality of life. It can affect their romantic life. It can affect their urine and bowel function. And the CyberKnife does the best job of preserving that function while having excellent cancer control rates.
What do your patients think of the CyberKnife treatment experience?
Well, at the Swedish CyberKnife, our patients are really satisfied with the experience. They report very few side effects, and we are seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/CyberKnifeProstate or call 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You two need to stop fighting.
No. No, I will not. Absolutely not. That is how Matt and I bond, is through our fighting. That's how we get the best out of each other.
That's the thing. So Bump is out today, probably golfing in the snow. And so Curtis is in every day. He produces this show. This is his show. But
Just doing my job.
Normally you're on the other side of the
Sure.
glass from me and Bump, and you and Matt hang out all day and fight with each other in silence where I can't hear you because it's soundproof.
But now that during the breaks, we
You're
have to prop the
yelling
door
at each
open.
other
Yeah,
through the door.
We're just yelling at each other.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Ernest Jones talked about departing teammates, keeping Rashid Shaheed, and the Seahawks draft success. This was in an interview with NFL Insiders. First, mixed feelings seeing old teammates go.
Yeah, I think it starts there, man. First, before anything, I'd love to have them back on this team, but I understand, man. We got families to take care of, and honestly, that's what we did it for. We said it, early on as a team, like, man, we go out here and we perform and we win a Super Bowl, the guys that get paid. So to see us living that out, what we talked about, still, it's big, it's key. Those guys deserve it. Now, it does suck for the Seahawks because those are some really good football players. But in turn, you just got to trust the organization, trust, the ability that we have for the guys that's in that room, that are already in that room, and let's just go play ball.
I think the last part, Curtis, is probably what Seahawks fans feel most, that resonates most with them, and probably what they should be looking at. That, yes, you're seeing some somewhat important names go. Ken Walker, certainly very important as your starting running back. Seeing Rico, Kobe Bryant, who's an excellent player, go. But also, you've got a lot of great players still here.
You do. And, the cupboard is not barren by any stretch of the imagination. Like, there's still a lot. You've only lost 2 starters from your Super Bowl winning team. Yes, you have lost some pretty key contributors to that, but all in all, you look at what was on the field when you beat the Patriots in San Francisco, and it looks very similar to what the roster is right now. And, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You're down a few depth pieces, too, like Derek Young on his way to the Raiders. But, again, you have brought back a lot of what you had success with a year ago. My only concern, though, and it was one thing that really propelled the 25 Seahawks, was the chemistry in that locker room. That is so hard to replicate. Like, even if you bring back the majority of guys from a Super Bowl team the year prior, the chemistry is still not going to be quite the same, just because there's new faces. There's going to be a new rookie class that comes in. Like, it's just a different dynamic. The majority of the guys may stay the same, but it's just going to be a little bit different than what it was. And I don't know if that's going to be something that, maybe takes a little bit more feeling out.
Do you think this is where I do lament never having been a player, because this is a question that I would be curious to ask, like a Richard Sherman type guy. Do teams only run into problems when they try to replicate something they were and not who they are?
Yes.
Because that's what I think. You've talked endlessly about the front office and about Pete Carroll trying to do this a little too much with the Super Bowl Seahawks. But I wonder if the same thing applies to even a locker room environment.
Every year with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, when they were here, they would be like, oh, feels like 2012 again.
2012.
Feels like 2012 again.
Oh, we're going to go get L.J. Collier because he's Michael Bennett.
Yeah.
We're going to go get Shaq Griffin because he's Richard Sherman. We're going to go get Tedrick Thompson because we think he can be Cam Chancellor.
And look, the Seahawks able to propel themselves forward in the 2 years following Pete Carroll's departure by bringing in fresh blood in Mike Macdonald and his coaching staff, and reshaping the roster to his vision. And Mike Macdonald was not here in 2012. He was not here in 2013. He was not here in 2014. He has no ties to those teams. He was just getting into coaching a decade ago. And the fact that the Seahawks were able to create themselves in Macdonald's vision, in Schneider's vision, and kind of rid themselves of trying to recapture old magic, I think that has helped them propel themselves forward. Like, we don't have to worry at all anymore about 2014. Like, we don't have to worry at all about the Super Bowl 49 that they lost on the goal line. Like, yes, it stings to think back to that, but that is no longer impacting the day-to-day decision-making of this Seahawks organization.
Yeah, I think that, yes. And I also think that when it comes to a locker room environment, I wish I could be a fly on the wall for this year to find out, okay, you don't want to mess up your formula. Your formula, the principles of who you want to be, the things that you value, the rules that you have for your team, those should always be the same. Your approach every day should always be the same. But there's also an authenticity you have to who you are that year, who your leaders are, where you are in the race, what's going on. And you can't just try to be what worked one time. That's got to be a difficult balance. I've never had to do it. I've never had to experience it. And I'd be really curious to know, for people that have been on back-to-back Super Bowl teams, for people that have been in locker rooms that have consistently competed for championships, how much of the locker room changed?
Yeah.
Because you can't replicate it. You can't be the team you were last year, not only when it comes to personnel, but in terms of the exact dynamic. So how do you remain authentic while still keeping true to who you want to be as a team?
I think, too, this is now the second time they've won a Super Bowl, and you don't have just the one banner hanging up and the one example of how it got done, the one formula that actually worked in this franchise's existence. You have shown you can get back by doing it differently than how you did the first time, and you've shown you can do it with, a different cast of characters, and a cast of characters that was built much differently in the first way, because this group relied a lot upon first and second round picks. It relied upon, a lot of star players that they acquired via trade, like Leonard Williams and whatnot. Whereas the LOB years, it was a lot of draft day steals. It was a lot of fourth, fifth round picks. It was Russell Wilson in the third round, Bobby Wagner in the second round. It was trading a fifth round pick for Marshawn Lynch. Like, there is more than one way to do it, and the Seahawks were able to do it in a different way. And I commend them for being able to kind of, chase out those demons from that had been left over for a decade in doing it how they did this season.
John Schneider and the Seahawks have done a great job with drafting and developing. Ernest Jones talking about that.
I think I got really good, trust and faith in what they're doing, because when I got to this team, man, searching for guys that played the game the right way and played the game in the way it's supposed to be played, that's rare. And they had 50-something guys already when I got here. So you could tell they've been drafting well. This is something that they do. So I just trust in the process. There's some big names out there. We'd love to have them, but I trust in our work and trust in our coaches and knowing that we can, we can go do this again. Just take it one day at a time.
It says they have a style. They have a guy that they try to find. What kind of qualities do you think that guy has?
Boy, teachable. I think Mike McDonald loves teaching. I think that is he talked about it with the Pardon My Take guys, how he comes from a long line of teachers, and I think that is something that he has looked for in a lot of these players. And I mean, they've brought in so many just like good dudes too over the last 2 years, like just really quality guys that have just been willing to sacrifice of themselves for the betterment of the team. And I think those are big qualities that McDonald has looked for. And I think the 12 is one motto is something that really means a lot to that locker room, where like we're all looking for the same goal here. Like, let's help each other get it.
What's going on with the Mariners? We're headed to Peoria with Bob Stelton next.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better?
Fastball, strike three called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Team USA takes on Team Canada tonight in the WBC. Winner will face either South Korea or the Dominican Republic. Cal Raleigh is in the lineup. The Seahawks added a running back. Seattle signed former Packer Emmanuel Wilson yesterday.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
from the Quantum Fiber Studio
This is Bump and Stacy.
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. One half of Wyman and Bob Stelton, joining us now from Peoria. Bob, how's it going?
Going great. How's it going out there? I'm seeing Dave's showing me pictures right now of snow.
It's snowing.
Out there.
Yep,
I know.
it's snowing.
Miserable. I'm so jealous even looking at you right now. You've got sunglasses on, a T-shirt. It's warm in the background. I wore 2 hoodies this morning for my walk.
Oh, my goodness.
It was
It is-
miserable.
Not to rub it in. I'm just looking at the
Oh,
temperature on my watch right now. It says it's 88 currently.
Do you guys fly back tonight, or is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
So you get to still
Dave's
enjoy.
hanging for a few days. He's coming back next week.
So
Well,
wear pants.
yeah,
and wear
definitely get a sweater when you're getting on the plane for sure. It's freezing,
Snow.
quite literally freezing here.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, well, I'm going to start with, we will get to some WBC talk, but I'll start with this. Because this WBC, you guys have a slightly different group that you're watching there. Who's been catching your eye then from that group?
The cool thing about the WBC is seeing the opportunity for a lot of the young guys out there, a lot of the turns they're going to get that they might not otherwise get if all the starters were here. So looking at somebody like Brennan Davis, who I think is a great story. I just love his story of being a highly rated prospect. He was number 3 in the Cubs organization, number 15 in MLB pipeline, and he's just been beset by injuries year after year after year in his career. And he's getting an opportunity here with the Mariners, and he's taking advantage of it. I mean, he's just been scorching the ball, playing really good defense in the outfield. I don't know how he fits because he's an outfielder, but his story is 26 years old. So I'm really invested in his story, hoping we get a chance to catch up with him. But Cole Young obviously is a big focal point because it feels like that's his job to lose at second base. And he was, it seemed like it was a bit of a slow start, but man, he has turned it on as of late. He's squaring the ball up. He looks like he's on time. He looks really comfortable, certainly in the field, but in the box as well. So a couple of the young guys that I've been really focusing on, Colt Emerson, had a chance to see him play a little bit. Was curious because he's the big name in terms of prospects. And then we'll see Cade Anderson pitch tonight. So looking forward to seeing that.
Bob, who among the Mariners coaches and players you've talked to this week have you enjoyed getting to know the most? Any new names, any new faces that you met for the first time that you're like, you know what, that guy's got a good head on his shoulders?
Brendan Donovan. I mean, what a conversation. I don't know if you guys heard that interview, but I would advise anybody to check out that conversation with him because he is. If you're a baseball fan, if you're a Mariner fan, you will walk away from that going, I love this guy. The way they do Josh Naylor, just the way that the fan base took to Josh Naylor, they will take to Donovan the same exact way. He is a baseball junkie. He is just all about the game. How do I get better? How do I help my teammates? He's selfless. He's invested. I just love his work ethic. I love his attitude. He gives incredibly thoughtful answers. So definitely check out that conversation if you haven't heard it. Plus, we had a chance to catch up with Perry Hill, who doesn't speak with the media a bunch, and he's a great guy. First of all, he's a guy who always deflects attention and credit and wants to talk about the players and everybody else. But you hear players to a man raving about how he's impacted their career, how he's helped them become so much better defensively. And I thought he was really interesting to talk to. And then, talking to Austin Nola, who was, a player up until last year and had an opportunity with the Braves to go into camp with them this year and elected to become a bullpen coach with the Mariners, obviously a former Mariner player that was traded for Ty France and Munoz and Taylor Trammell in that deal, and he's back as a coach. And I thought he was a really interesting guy to talk to as well.
Team Mexico eliminated by Italy in the WBC. Have you seen Randy Arozarena there yet?
No, the watch is on, though. Everybody, the Randy watch is on.
Why is that?
Why do you say that, Bob?
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, there was some dispute about a handshake or something. I don't really know. It seems like much ado about nothing, really. But yeah, nobody's. I don't think he's here yet. I don't know if he's coming in today or tomorrow. I haven't heard what the plan is, but talking to some of the other reporters. The Randy watch is on for sure.
I do unfortunately have to ask you a follow-up about it. Do you see it as something where you're like, yeah, it was something to talk about for a little while, spring training, interesting topic, but I don't see it affecting them? How do you see it?
I don't think it'll affect them, honestly. And look, I'm not going to chalk it up as a joke. I think some people really wanted it to be a joke, and like that's what buddies do. You're just kind of busting each other, but it wasn't that. How deep does it go? How far into the season does it go? I don't think it's anything that lingers. I think maybe it gets addressed when they're both here. Maybe they have a sit down with Dan or something along those lines and hash it out. But the bottom line, I don't think this is one of the best clubhouses I've been in years with this team. That's last year, the year before. It's just been a great group. It doesn't mean they all go to dinner together every night. It doesn't mean they all have to be best friends off the field. But it is, because you've got a lot of different personalities, different cultures, different beliefs, whatever. But they coexist in a really great way. And I don't think any part of that gets disrupted with this. I think it's unnecessary. I think it's lingered longer than it should have for obvious reasons. But I don't think it's going to be something that we're going to look back on and go, oh, man, well, that clearly derailed them, or that clearly had an impact on this guy's season. I think if anybody struggles, it's because they're struggling. I don't think it's because anything that took place in the WBC lingered with them.
Bob, biggest talk out of Peoria this week has been Bryce Miller's injury. He had to shut down his bullpen session. What's your confidence level in this rotation in the month of April if Bryce Miller is maybe unable to go to start the season?
I have a ton of confidence because, Curtis, we saw it last year. This rotation could not have been more disjointed due to injury. Yeah. The only person who did not miss a start due to injury was Luis Castillo. Everybody else at one point or another was impacted. George Kirby started the year on the IL, yet Bryce Miller only had 18 starts in the regular season. He's up and down. Logan Gilbert, everybody took a turn getting hurt, and they had the best season of their entire existence, 8 outs away from the World Series. So I think that was a really a great teaching moment, to use a cliche, for the organization, for the coaching staff, on how to work their way through that kind of adversity. I don't expect the same kind of adversity this year. So if we're talking about one guy being down, I think they're more than capable of accounting for it. And Emerson Hancock's done a great job. He's not the same kind of pitcher, obviously, as Bryce Miller or Brian Wu or any of those guys, but he's a guy who can give you 5 and keep you in the game, give you 5 or 6, 3 runs or less, give your team a chance to win. And he's proven he can do that game in, game out. So I don't expect Bryce to be there for his first turn. I don't know that there's enough time left in spring training for him to get the work in that he needs to get in. So I would expect that we'd probably see Emerson Hancock when Bryce's turn rolls up.
Bob, something that Curtis and I were talking about earlier in the show is how watching the season could be different given the World Series expectations that they have. So let's take April, for instance. If you were in a rebuild or if you were in a teardown, you're thinking like, well, what do young players look like? But now that your expectation is to get to and win a World Series, what are you looking for in April?
I'm just looking to see. First of all, it's been hard only because we haven't been able to see Julio and Cal and Naylor and Munoz and Mastroboni and Canzone. Just a lot of the names we're going to be seeing throughout the season. So, but if anything, I think maybe those guys, the engine gets started earlier. They're just playing in games that have more intensity, that have more urgency than a spring training game. So maybe that speeds up the clock a bit on these guys, and I could see them getting off to a quick start. We'll see what it looks like when they're all together, which will be after this weekend. But I think I look at it as a positive with the young guys getting opportunities they might not otherwise get, and seeing the veterans out there that are in the WBC playing games with meaning and playing games that they're invested in a way you just can't mimic in spring. So I see them, and that's the belief here. There's a huge level of optimism and there's a huge level of expectation. I think they expect to be in the thick of it. They expect to be very good. They expect to live up to all of the, national prognostications of the Mariners being amongst the favorites in the American League, and they absolutely should be amongst the favorites, and the players and everybody in this building believe it. So nobody seems overwhelmed or like, oh wow, this is crazy. People think we're good now. There's none of that. They're like, yeah, we're a good team. We should be talked about that way.
Bob, you and Dave got to do, I believe it's the first sit-down interview Kate Anderson did with the station this week. What was your biggest takeaways from that conversation? He's highly regarded prospect, top 3 pick. Still not a whole lot known about him amongst Mariners fans. What were your takeaways from that combo?
First, he's very self-assured. He's not. But to me, that's different than being arrogant or cocky. I wouldn't say that at all. But he does have a lot of confidence. I mean, and that comes through when you hear him talk. He's very kind of serious. Like he's not, at least at this point, an easy laugh or an easy smile. But he's very polite. But and focused on what he's saying. But he's got a lot of belief in what he's going to be able to do. And he's very polished and talked about his time at LSU and playing at that level of college ball and with that kind of attention and in front of those crowds and how that's helped him maybe advance a little quicker. We'll see. But, yeah, he had a funny line in there where we were talking about him being drafted, and he talked about people around him that were looking at teams saying, man, it would be good for you to be with the Mariners because of how they develop pitching and how they treat pitching, and that would suit you. And he was all in, and he said, that's the team I wanted to go to. I was hoping I'd get drafted by the Mariners. You don't have to believe me if you don't want to. We're like, we said, no.
Why are you trying to fight me, man?
We're like, hey, no, I believe you. If you tell me that, I believe you. But it was.
He's like, I'm tired of you guys talking about me all the time. Like, if you don't believe in me, I love that.
So it was funny because he was very serious when he said it. But I mean, he's going to be fun to watch. Watched his bullpen. He's got great stuff. Ryan Sloan has got really good stuff. So you've got two young arms who are going to be ready sooner than later, it would seem. But my hope is that they don't need them. Yeah. My hope is that we don't see either one of them because that tells me somebody got hurt or somebody's not performing in a way that is going to help this team. And if they have to dip beyond Emerson Hancock, but beyond maybe Cooper Criswell, then maybe things haven't gone right with the rotation. So it's my hope we don't see either one of them this year out of need.
One thing that people were talking about when it came to losing out on Polanco and Gino at the end of last year, and then some natural regression for Cal is like, well, where are the home runs going to come from? Is there a world, Bob, where this team isn't just kind of home run reliant and can kind of reframe itself just a little bit to try to get more contact, or are they still built very much for the long ball? What do you think?
I think it's a little of both, but I think they're built to manufacture runs. I think they're built with Donovan at the top of the lineup, a guy who does not strike out a lot, who gets on base, who's a contact guy. He's going to be there to be driven in, and I just feel like that's going to be. Are they going to replace all of that production from last year in terms of the long ball? I wouldn't think so. It's 26 home runs from Polanco. I mean, Cal's not going to hit 60 again. I don't think it's a realistic expectation. But I think the runs are going to be there. I just think this team is set up, especially 1 through 5, when you look at, depending on how they want to stack it, with Donovan, then you've got Cal, Julio, Arozarena, Naylor. It's a longer lineup. We'll see what the young guys do. How many young guys are going to be in the lineup? Is it just Cole Young? We'll see if Robles can kind of get things going. It's been a slow start for him. But I think if he gets going, you got him toward the bottom of the lineup with JP, and then you flip it back over to Donovan. I think this is going to be a team that wreaks havoc on the bases. I think they're going to be a team that is really in a position to create runs and create contact. I think the strikeout numbers will come down, but maybe some of the home runs will come down as well. But I think they're going to make up for it. I really don't have any fear that the offense is going to be a shell of what it was or anything. May not be as many home runs, but I think it's going to be a very productive offense.
All right, Bob, the $1 million question today. Team Canada against USA. Cal Raleigh is starting for Team USA, and Josh Naylor is playing for Team Canada. Do you think Naylor tries to shake Cal Raleigh's hand?
100% no, he does not. Now, if it were Julio, if it gets down to, let's say the U.S. wins and they move on, they face the Dominican, I could see, and we were talking about this, I think it would be funny. Maybe it would just make this thing linger longer, but I think it would be funny if Julio walked up and put the hand down with that big levity. Smile.
Yeah.
He could have fun with it. I think it would be taken lighter. And if Cal shook him off the same way, I think it'd be hilarious. But maybe they're just like, hey, let's not throw logs on the fire here. But Naylor. We were talking. Dave and I were taking bets as to whether Naylor would even acknowledge Cal should he get on first base. Because remember, he didn't talk to his brother.
His bone brother.
Yeah. He didn't even acknowledge his existence. So if Cal's standing on first, I see Naylor turning his back to him, not not dapping him up, no handshake, just looking at the pitcher, looking at where he's got to be for the next pitch. I don't think there's going to be any interaction at all.
I'll say this, as an older sibling, sometimes you do need to put them in their place. You know what I mean?
Is that right?
Like, sometimes you need to remind the younger sibling, like, you don't matter just yet, not to me.
So
I do have a follow-up
You turn your
question.
back to your sister at all times.
All the time.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question from a listener. They said, Bob is getting us hyped for the season, exclamation point. They want to go back to your point about Kate Anderson's confidence. They said, now, is this wide receiver diva confidence or more like a D-Law Big Cat confidence?
It's the latter.
Okay.
It's more the D-Law Big Cat. Just like, look, I know what I can do. I know why I'm here, and I believe that I can compete at this level. I think it's that. It's not, hey, look out, the show's in town, get ready, buckle up. There's none of the get your popcorn ready. It's not that. It's a nice level of confidence for a young guy. Look, he's going to have a moment, 2 or 3 in the minor. He's going to get humbled. Every pitcher does. Every pitcher goes out there and gets their butt kicked. That's going to happen. It's going to be, how does he respond? How does he react to that? That's going to be the bigger deal, because he will take a beating. Everybody does. So I'm gonna be very interested to see how he responds to that. But yeah, he's got nice confidence. It's not problematic confidence. It's not wide receiver A.J. Brown diva confidence.
Well, I'm glad that Bob is getting you guys excited for the season, and you can hear more from him in less than 45 minutes when Wyman and Bob comes your way at 2 p.m. He is Bob Stelton. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Stay warm, guys.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
See
you.
ya. So sweet, Bob Stelton. Opening day is almost here. We're sending one of you and a friend to experience it like never before. Imagine getting front row access to the opening ceremonies, intros, first pitch, and so much more, all from the field. To enter, all you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have it, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Friday, March 18th. I almost did it flawlessly. Let's get almost a little turbulence at the end. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
All right, Stacey, first down to you. What stands out about John Schneider's interview with Wyman and Bob yesterday?
To me, it was him heaping a ton of praise on George Holani.
George Holani, like, the one thing that got overlooked in those last 2 games, like, and Mike, I was talking to Mike about this, or Mike McDonald. George, he had 2 really. He was awesome in the NFC Championship game, and he was awesome in the Super Bowl. His pass protection, he made that great, he made that 8-yard catch with first down. It was a big, real huge play for us, and yeah, he's just every time he goes in the game, he just performs.
Now, Curtis, you said it best earlier when you said, now I'd hate to read into this, but I will.
Yeah.
It sure sounds like John Schneider in the front office is expecting a slightly bigger role for Holani.
Whenever they are very complimentary of a player,
Yeah.
I like to think that something's going on there.
What's going
on in that running back room? Because you're going to need somebody to step up in place of the injured Zach Charbonnet. And Holani was pressed into duty in the playoffs and had, in John Schneider's eyes, a really good performance in the playoffs. I think, to me, that is going to tell a lot about what the Seahawks are thinking in that running back room.
I absolutely agree. And the one thing I'll add to this is not a knock on Holani, but rather a reminder that as someone who isn't a gambling person, and I'm not, I did take another glance at Holani's numbers and go, ooh, can you replace Ken Walker with Holani for a while before you go with Charbonnet? I don't think so. Like, look, now you have Emmanuel Wilson. You're combining a couple guys together, but I'd love to see one more name added.
Yeah, I think that would be huge if they were bringing somebody else. Which leads us to second down. So, Stacey, who's the most intriguing free agent remaining?
Someone will have to let me know if he signed in the last 10 minutes because I'm interested in Brian Robinson Jr.,
Still
former
out
San
there.
Francisco 49er. His run game coordinator last year, Brian Fleury, is your new offensive coordinator. So I'm curious about Brian Robinson Jr. I want to know where he goes and what he does and whether or not that's going to be in Seattle. I think San Francisco would probably like to be able to retain him, so we'll see if he stays there. A non-Seattle name that I think league-wide is the most intriguing free agent remaining is probably Kirk Cousins. Look, you're a quarterback. I don't know if he ends up being a starter anywhere. He'll probably go sign as a veteran backup somewhere. There is a world, though, where if Aaron Rodgers doesn't return to the Steelers, and Adam Schefter has hypothesized about this, that like maybe you are looking at a starting job for Kirk Cousins. So I think everyone's kind of keeping their eye on that one.
Third down. Stacey, which free agent landed in the best spot and has a surprisingly low amount of pressure?
Hear me out. You guys can let me know if you've got another suggestion, but hear me out. I think Mike Evans landed the best gig possible. And that is not me like giving a ton of love to the 49ers, who are a good team. That's me saying, think about it. He's already a Hall of Famer. He already has a Super Bowl win. He's got that ring. He's not going to be blamed for any failures of the 49ers. If the 49ers have a great season and don't get to and win a Super Bowl, everyone's looking at Kyle Shanahan going, come on, man, you got to get to it eventually. Eventually, you have to win a Super Bowl. Everyone's looking at your quarterback. They're going to be looking elsewhere. They're not looking at Mike Evans. Not a 30-plus-year-old Mike Evans. Right. They're not looking at him going, why didn't you do more? However, even though I don't think he's going to get blamed for failures, I think there's a world where he also gets a ton of credit for success because Mike Evans is still an exceptional wide receiver, and there's a world where he's their wide receiver one, where you're not just Devontae Adams going to be a top red zone target for Matthew Stafford while Puka Nacua gets 1,700 yards. You have a chance to be the top pass catcher, or certainly the top wide receiver. So I think Mike Evans kind of got it made in San Francisco.
4th down. What non-NFC West signing matters most for the Seahawks?
It's got to be Kyler to the Vikings. It has to. I don't know if there is another non-NFC West signing. I mean, you could make the case for like, oh, if K9 completely, dominates in Kansas City, maybe you're regretting that one. But in terms of keeping someone from the playoffs, the Chiefs are not going to be that person for Seattle. The Vikings could. Now, none of this matters if Seattle wins the NFC West. I think that they can. But if they don't, they're fighting for a wild card. The Vikings are favored to be in the thick of it in the NFC North, and you're looking at either, 2 teams coming from the West, 2 teams coming from the North, maybe a third team coming from one of those divisions, right? Like, I think that's where your wild card teams are coming from. And suddenly the Vikings have entered themselves as a very convincing name there.
Yeah, that Vikings team, Kyler definitely elevates their floor for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're going to be a bad team by any stretch of the imagination in 2026. I also don't have them where Dominique Foxworth has them.
Oh, is the second best team in the NFC behind the Rams?
I do not have them to that level.
Yeah, it's crazy how the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, weird how
it's weird how we haven't talked about the Rams winning the Super Bowl.
Winning the Super Bowl. They were just so good this season.
Good for them. You'll never take that from them.
We crowned them early. We crowned them often.
They're top dogs for a reason.
Top dogs. Wait a minute.
Wait. Hang on. I feel like another team should be included in that conversation.
I remember a parade happening in Seattle, and they don't usually do that for second place.
I know I'm a little dehydrated, but I feel like my memory isn't normally.
Wait.
Oh, the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Rams did not win the Super Bowl.
No.
They were not the best team in the NFL.
What's going on, Dominique Foxworth? Look, I love you, buddy. I mean, he's not my buddy. He doesn't know me, but I do like his analysis. I don't love this one. I think it's spicy. It's a spicy take that's really entertaining. And I get what he's saying, which is the Vikings are there's such a huge variance between they're either not in the playoffs at all or they could be one of the best teams. Like, I get what he's saying, and that's really intriguing, but kind of ignoring Seattle with that conversation.
Yeah. You're overlooking a Super Bowl winner that is down just 2 starters from the year prior.
Yeah.
Okay? Like respect to the 4 major contributors that the Seahawks have lost in free agency. Kobe, Reek, Boye Mafe, Ken Walker. But, of that group of 4, did the Seahawks win Super Bowl 60 without that group of 4?
Without Ken Walker, I don't think so.
I don't think so. But everybody else,
I get what you're saying.
They have a really good shot of winning Super Bowl 60 if those guys were not on the roster.
A perfect and now a missed opportunity for you to say last time I checked.
Yeah. Last time I checked, buddy.
Newsflash. I have a trade proposal.
Let's do it.
It's coming up next.
Wyman and Bob, live from Mariners spring training.
General Manager Justin Hollander is with us. You got decisions to make. I mean, you got a lot of young guys at second base. It could be Cole Young, could be Ryan Bliss. Brandon Davis has been a huge story.
There has never been a team in the history of baseball who had too many good players.
Yeah.
We will have our ups and downs this year. We will need more than just the 13 position players and the 13 pitchers we break camp with. It's great to watch guys go out and compete for spots and feel like you have options.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube and watch the full interview.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel welcomes Seattle Golf Show March 13th through 15th at Puyallups Washington State Fair Event Center. Parking's free. Get front door bonus golf, see 100 exhibits, top courses, and shop big brands with Putts Golf. Tickets, seattlegolfshow.com.
Opened in 1933, our family is still here, doing the right thing for your family.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
For those diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or PTSD, Northwest Ketamine Clinics wants you to know hope is within reach. Here's Brandon, a recent patient.
Going to sleep was challenging. Getting my brain to turn off was challenging. Just kind of getting through every day was a bit challenging. Like everything was a little too hard, a little too much resistance, and that just kind of evaporated. After the first few sessions of ketamine, it was noticeable. People remarked on it pretty quickly. I had done maybe 2 sessions, 3 sessions, and people started going, what are you doing differently? You look awesome. You just look like your skin is healthier and you look happier. To anyone thinking about giving it a try, if you have depression, ADHD, bipolar, any of those things feel like they would vastly benefit from it. So go for it. That's what I say.
Welcome to the Pacific Northwest's most experienced ketamine center. Book a free phone or video consult at nwketamineclinics.com. Healing starts here.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Get broadcast times for every Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At seattlesports.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about St. Patrick's Day, a time for parades, green beer, and even leprechauns. But drinking holidays are also a time when DUI patrols are out in full force. Here's who won't be wearing green, those boys in blue. And they'll pinch you whether you are or not. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we want you to stay safe. So make sure to have a designated driver, because if you look in your rearview mirror and see a rainbow of lights, you could be paying a pot of gold in fines. DUI laws never take a break. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up a free private consultation in Seattle, Everett, or Tacoma. If you get a DUI this St. Paddy's Day, don't count on the luck of the Irish to get you through. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY!
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know coming your way in 15 minutes. Get your question in. Any question, text it now. 866-979-3776. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus today. Curtis,
hey.
I have a trade proposal. Both you and I said, I wouldn't mind seeing another running back at it just for some competition. Why not? Right?
I love trade proposals. I love the trade proposals that are also like so lopsided in one person's favor.
Yeah,
the ones
yeah.
that get texted in.
Dom Canzoni for Shohei Ohtani straight up.
Yeah. Like, who says no?
Who says no, bro? No offense to Dom. I love Dom, my Italian brother.
But it's just not equal.
Unfortunately, it's not totally equal. You got to throw in. You got to throw in at least one other person.
But what do you got?
To make it fair.
What do you got
with
for
Ohtani? I mean, with Ohtani and who? And who? Freddie and who?
Give me Kyle Tucker and Ohtani for Dom Canzone?
Then
sure.
now we're talking.
Let's do it.
Yeah, now we're cooking. No, this is going to be a running back trade. Okay. Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
I saw Sports Illustrated do a mock trade. It was not for Seattle. It was for Denver. They said, Denver can use some running back help. How about Denver sends 5th-round pick, day 3 pick, late day 3 pick, 5th-round pick to New Orleans for a running back they're not going to use with Alvin Kamara.
All right.
They're probably looking to shed some of that salary to do something here. They already signed Travis Etienne/Etienne. Etienne? I think there's a French pronunciation that I can't do. I failed French.
That's okay.
I'm sorry about it, Marabie.
We don't speak French on our show.
Etienne.
Yeah, he's from the Bayou.
Yeah.
So
Etienne.
A 5th-round pick. The Seahawks don't have a 5th-rounder, so that's a little tricky. They do have a 6th.
What I'm saying
a late-round pick.
A late-round pick.
Right, and it's not to say they can't go and acquire a 5th-rounder. The only issue is that this trade will probably have to be made, I'm guessing, during the draft when you see a lot more
can still
draft
get
picks.
That.
Get moved around, and the Seahawks will have the most leverage they'll ever have once they're on the clock, because then teams are going to be trying to move up and get a 1st-round pick. But if you're able to move back, acquire a late-round pick with moving down like 3 or 4 spots to draft at the start of the 2nd round, then, I think you absolutely would have to consider making that trade. Look, the Seahawks moved a 4th and a 5th-round pick for Rashid Shaheed. That turned out to be, I think, a valuable trade because you were able to re-sign him. And then also he helped you get to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. Came up with 2 of the biggest plays of the entire season for you in the Rams game and in the 49ers game. And, I think that trade, even though you gave up 2 picks, 4th and a 5th-round pick, I think it was worth it. I think Alvin Kamara could absolutely have still an impact on this team. And I get that it would probably be for 1 year. I don't think you're bringing him for more than just a season. But I think with the title window being as wide open as it's ever been, you've got to do whatever you can to take advantage of that. And I think even at age, 31 is what he'll be this season. I think even at age 31, he's going to be a better option than what you currently have on your roster, and probably better than most of what you could end up getting.
2 things. One, this is a little bit of stolen valor because this is not my idea. This was something Brian Walters talked about. So I want to be able to give credit where it's due and say I wasn't considering this until he mentioned it. And this is real. Kellen Moore, head coach of the Saints, obviously was asked about not only a possible trade for Kamara, but the possibility that Kamara retires, that he's not even part of the Saints' plans moving forward. And he dodged it. He didn't answer that question, which unfortunately for him just adds fuel to the fire. So now a bunch of people around the league, according to Adam Schefter, are keeping their eyes on this situation, monitoring it to see whether or not the Saints are willing to deal him. The second thing I want to say is that you are not getting the best version of Alvin Kamara. We've seen the best version of Alvin Kamara. It's amazing. He's amazing. He's one of the most dynamic players in the league. You're not getting that version, but you're not paying for that version. Sending over a late round pick, a day 3 pick, is not paying for the best version of Alvin Kamara, so you're fortunate for that. And you don't need it right now. Do I think the Seahawks would be more likely to make it back to a Super Bowl with a player who was prime Alvin Kamara? Yeah, he's exceptional. But you're just looking for someone who can add a veteran presence and like a fallback option and maybe some competition to a room that not only isn't an exceptionally deep wide receiver room, but also isn't an exceptionally deep running back room. And this guy does a little bit of both. I'm intrigued by it, especially for if it was just a 5th or 6th rounder.
I also kind of wonder, too, if maybe – because the Seahawks right now have, I think, like 12 picks they're scheduled to have in the 2027 draft. And I get that draft is going to be, by all accounts, it's going to be a lot better than what we're dealing with here in a month from now. But maybe the Seahawks add a veteran running back, I don't know, during the season. Or they add a veteran running back.
Like a midseason trade?
In training camp or something like that, where a team kind of sees what they're working with and I don't think we're going to be contenders this year. And we've got this decent running back in a draft where there should be a lot better prospects available. The Seahawks are going to have a lot more mid-round picks based off of who they've lost in free agency and who they have signed here. Like maybe they dip into the class of 2027 and dip into those draft picks in order to give teams a little more incentive in these kinds of trades.
I'm intrigued by that. Yeah. Now,
I mean, Christian McCaffrey was a trade deadline acquisition by the 49ers.
Yes, and now maybe they add someone in the draft and call it good. Hey, we added Wilson, who had 400 something last year. We got Charbonnet coming back eventually. We like Halani. We like McIntosh. We got some guys that we had on practice squad, and we're going to draft. Okay, maybe that's their approach. Totally, fine. I'm just intrigued by the version of Alvin Kamara that could potentially still be there in 26. The fact that he's 30 is a factor. But again, I'm not looking for 1,500 yards from scrimmage from Alvin Kamara. By the way, look, last year was a career low almost across the board in a number of categories for Kamara, and he ended up ending his season in week 12 with an MCL injury. However, only the year prior, as in 2025 when he ended his season, the year prior he had 1,400 yards from scrimmage. So this is also not an Alvin Kamara that peaked 5 years ago.
Yeah.
This was an Alvin Kamara that had 1,400 yards from scrimmage in 2024.
In an offense that was very similar to what you're running.
Missing a number of offensive lineman starters.
Right, and put the team on his back and was very productive in a lost season. And I think that's something to keep in mind is that, he hasn't had a shot to win a Super Bowl in quite a while. It was early on in his career where he was played on some really good Saints teams.
Oh, those Saints teams got so unlucky.
They got so close and lost in such heartbreaking fashion every single year. You had the Minneapolis Miracle. You had the Rams NFC Championship. They lost a home playoff game to the Vikings, too. Kirk Cousins threw a touchdown, I think, to Kyle Rudolph or something like that in overtime.
Speaking of heartbroken, Vikings also one of those teams, to be fair. Yeah. They've been trading heartbreak.
They've at least got 2 up on the Saints, though, with that. But, yeah.
The Saints have a ring.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's some give and take here. But, yeah, I think if you can get somebody that is in a very hungry situation to come in and have a chance at winning a ring, I think that's a really good motivating factor. I mean, look at DeMarcus Lawrence. He had gone his entire career without ever sniffing the Super Bowl and came here and had his best season in a long time, and was a difference-making player and now has a giant rock on his finger that was not going to get in Dallas. And I know Kamara's not going to get that in New Orleans.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. That's next.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better.
Fastball, strike 3 called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
Goodbye, baseball!
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Brock Ewart here with my buddy Shannon O'Kelly from IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, we met about a decade ago when you came into the studio, and at that point, IRG was humming, but you were not 40 locations strong all over the neighborhood. How have you done this and why?
Number one, Brock, great people. Our strength here at IRG is our people. Secondly, we are a company that has a culture of giving back and taking care of our patients, taking care of our team, and thirdly, taking care of our community. We want to be your family physical therapist. More importantly, we want to be your family's neighborhood physical therapist. We want you to come in, have a great experience, and get better and get out there and be pain-free and function.
Taking care of your friends, taking care of your neighbors, taking care of your community, and taking care of Western Washington. With over 40 locations now, that's exactly what IRG Physical and Hand Therapy is doing. Find them in person, find them online at irgpt.com. That's irgpt.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we perform an 18-point maintenance check with every oil change to help make sure you're good to go.
And?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Huh. Wonder why the dealership isn't that easy.
Well, we'd let you know if we found something in our check.
Oh, great. That was easy.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, thorough, and honest. Come with no charge.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Opening day is just days away, and we want to send you and a friend to experience it like never before. Get front row access to the opening ceremonies, player introductions, first pitch, and more, all from the field. To enter, just open the Seattle Sports app and hit the Win tab. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Better hustle. Contest runs through March 18th. From the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports. Don't miss 3 Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be 2. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
At Bible Law Group, we understand what it means to be local legal representation. From shopping at the Bon Marché, picking up gear at Chubby and Tubby, crying for Joey Cora, now for Cal, grabbing a burger while JP Patches clowns by. We live here and fight for you. That's why Bible Law gives local representation to those facing legal problems too big for prayers, even if you can't pronounce Squim or Puyallup. Our legal team has secured more than $40 million in settlements for our clients. We're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bump Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. The Oscars are this Sunday, so do you want Sinners, one battle after another, or something else to win Best Picture? I thought Sinners was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a good one. And Michael B. Jordan is maybe my favorite actor. He's so good in everything that he does. I hope he wins.
I thought Rose Byrne is good for Best Actress.
Yeah.
I don't know that she's going to win it. I think it's going to be What's-Her-Face from Hamnet.
Didn't Timothée Chalamet win Best Actor for Marty Supreme and one of the other ones?
Yeah, it's kind of so Best Actress has been mostly the same except for one of them, but I think the Globes, and then Best Actor is kind of varied.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think I'll go Sinners. I haven't seen all the movies. I'll be honest about that though. I used to care a lot more. Now I just don't.
I don't think I've ever cared for the Oscars.
I watched too many of the same shows.
The only time I ever cared about the Oscars is when Will Smith just wham!
Wow.
Chris Rock.
I'll never forget
that. I thought that was staged.
I did too. That was
first time? Yeah,
a pop culture moment. Remember when they used to do I Love the 80s, I Love the 90s?
Oh,
if they were still doing that, that would be one of the
20s.
segments they'd have. Yeah. What I need to know. What's the most overrated food that everyone just pretends to like?
Pretends to like, huh?
I don't know. I think pretzels. Flavored pretzels, like when they have Dots pretzels, but plain pretzels are so dry and disgusting that I'm like, why are these everywhere? Why are they everywhere? Why are they such a common thing? Why do we give them to children?
Every day you just come onto this radio show and say something. Just every day.
You be saying things on the radio.
Pretzels is what put you over the edge.
That's what did it today.
Hot take.
My answer's pretzels. They're dry. It's eating sawdust.
No, yeah, we heard your answer was dumb and wrong.
So, I like this food. I don't love this food. It's just, it's got a lot going on. Maybe a little too much going on.
Oh.
Pho. There's just too much in the bowl.
Oh, but I have the bad food opinions.
It's like there's just too much going on. It's overwhelming, and I'm kind of like, do we really love this as much as we do?
Yes. You think everyone pretends to like it?
I think there's some people that pretend to like it. Sushi, 253. I agree with you on that.
No, sushi's amazing.
I think people pretend to like sushi than actually like it.
I think pretzels was a good answer that Matt is completely overlooking.
Pretzels are really good.
Is it in anyone's top 5 of snacks? Top 10 of snacks? Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone ever?
It's in every mix, every trail mix, every bar mix.
And is that what you seek out? And is that what you seek out, or do you seek out the little brown crisps, the little rye crisps? Exactly.
I love the pretzels.
No one's sneaking out the pretzels. Yeah. Or
you know what I do with Gardettos or Chex Mix? I just take a handful, and whatever's in my hand, I pop it in my mouth.
What I need to know.
I'm not digging around.
If Curtis and Bump is the dad pod,
okay,
what's the Curtis and Stacy pod? Either way, I'm digging it. I said we should go after Exciting Whites now that the Eagles have broken that up.
I think that could work.
We're not very exciting, though.
No,
so we need another version of Whites.
We do love to gossip.
Gossiping Whites. Nosy Whites.
There you go. Yeah, we love to chat about other people's business.
Love to gossip.
Yes. Our computer's on the opposite side of the sports bit, so our backs are to each other. But occasionally, one of us will read something, or we'll have heard something like "girl," and then the other one just turns around and like, "What,
girl?"
Yeah.
What I need to know: assume that the Seahawks have the last pick in round 1. And the first pick in round 2. We got a classic NFL snake draft.
Yeah, we're doing snake drafts.
They're on the clock. They love a wide receiver and a guard. Both will end up eventually being solid starters. Based on draft rules, player control, and second contract salaries, who should they pick at 32 and who at 33? The answer is wide receiver or guard. Right? Because you get the 5th-year option.
Yeah.
Although technically you're paying more money with a higher pick, but drastically more. I'll take the 5th-year flexibility.
Yeah, whichever is going to be a cheaper 5th-year contract, I think, is who you go.
Well, you don't get the 5th-year option with 33.
Right. So that's why I would pick whoever would have the cheaper average in the 5th-year option at pick 32, and then whoever would be more expensive to re-sign.
Yeah.
At 33. So I might go guard 32, wide receiver 33.
Yeah, because that 5th-year option is probably still more than a per
JSN,
year.
I think his 5th-year option. I think JSN's 5th-year option is already up to like 28 million.
Well, yeah, because it would be the average of whatever. Yeah. I don't even. I don't know. Let me know what you think, texter. 866. Maybe I'm wrong. 866-979-3776. Someone said about the overrated food. Salad, the most popular answer. 206, fake healthy people all pretending to like salad.
I like a good salad. Caesar salad?
Oh.
I don't love it enough to bring it to a cookout, but I do like a Caesar salad. Especially with like Italian food.
Yeah. 360 says French fries. You couldn't be more wrong. I'm blocking you. That's a horrible take.
French fries overrated?
Oh, God.
I don't think there's a food out there with higher approval rating than French fries. Maybe pizza?
Jeez. What I need to know. You can guarantee one thing. A Mariners World Series in the next 2 years or a Seahawks three-peat.
Three-peat? Holy cow.
Let me tell you what. If I knew 3 years of covering the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, selfishly for my job, I'd probably want that. But something about the Mariners is more it resonates emotionally.
We've
more
never seen the Seahawks, or we've never seen the Mariners in the World Series. So I'm going to take Mariners in the World Series.
Yeah. Ooh, someone said the Wonder Bread Wake Up with Stacy and Curtis.
If you need to be woken up at 10 a.m., that's
just opening the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sleepyhead.
Good morning, sleepyheads. Time for sports news. Next day cold pizza with mayonnaise on it is to die for. There's no way you believe that.
No.
I sometimes
get your mayonnaise off your cold pizza. That's gross.
Be saying things. Subdued whites.
Cold pizza is great. Like, I love cold pizza. My kids love cold pizza more than they like hot pizza. But you do not need to put mayonnaise on it.
No. What I need to know. 866-979-3776.
425, the Hot Goss Pod.
Yeah.
That's what we could call ourselves.
And I just talk about stuff that everyone knows. Did you hear that Cal didn't shake Randy's? Did you hear this?
Girl. And then I saw Randy post on his Instagram story.
Did you see it?
A video of Team Venezuela and the Dominican Republic hugging.
God. Someone said they're not lying. I'll never try that. Unfortunately I will never try that in my life. Mayonnaise on pizza.
That's disgusting. Was it Mel Kiper who put mashed potatoes on his pizza?
Mel Kiper.
I can get down with that more than mayonnaise on my pizza.
Mel Kiper has weird food choices. You guys think I have weird choices. All I said, I didn't even say anything bad about pretzels. I just said they're dry, and I think that their popularity doesn't match with how delicious they are. That's all I said, but I'm being attacked.
If we have a weekend staring us in the face right now, I don't know why you're still talking.
Wyman and Bob coming up next. No, aren't foxes bears?
Wyman and Bob, live from Mariners spring training.
General manager Justin Hollander is with us. You got decisions to make. I mean, you got a lot of young guys at second base. It could be Cole Young, could be Ryan Bliss. Brandon Davis has been a huge story.
There has never been a team in the history of baseball who had too many good players.
Yeah.
We will have our ups and downs this year. We will need more than just the 13 position players and the 13 pitchers we break camp with. It's great to watch guys go out and compete for spots and feel like you have options.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube and watch the full interview.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Dave Wyman here with Dr. Robert Meyer from Swedish Hospital. Dr. Meyer, tell us about the amazing results prostate cancer patients are getting with Swedish CyberKnife.
Well, at the Swedish CyberKnife, our patients are really satisfied with the experience. The treatment is very effective at eradicating the cancer, has minimal side effects, and we are seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later.
Find out more at swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. We're showing you the green for St. Patty's Day. Right now, find your pot of gold with exciting savings on saltwater hot tubs. Best of all, you'll get 5 full years to pay for it interest-free. Wow! Don't let your luck run out. This limited event ends St. Patrick's Day. Visit us today at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541.